winners talking.
Keep it on some positivity, keep it on celebrations, goodness, and doing all the right things. Because that's what I'm on. It's about doing the right things.
I hear it, bro.
Yeah, fully.
I don't want to gossip about. If we're
flying
gossiping
around
about
and
guys
that,
gossiping,
that's wild.
Yeah, that's
wild.
low.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's
vibration,
keep the vibrations as high as possible.
100.
Keep things moving in the right direction. Got the big bosses in the building today.
Yes.
The CEOs of the CEOs. You know them ones there?
Your CEO's favourite CEO.
You have to take it that step further. You killing my punchline. You know, like that.
I thought you were setting him up. I thought you were setting him up. You know what I mean? I thought you were crossing it in. Crossing it in.
You know, he just jumped in, but because we think of the same way.
Don't ever take credit for my thing, bro.
That was a good one. I you to be slamming through and you slam dunked it like in the
and I seen you slam dunk too. You can slam dunk. I saw the room was vibrating afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So
Man, them DMing me, that was 10 foot. That's what they know.
No, that was definitely 10 foot.
Yeah,
No doubt. What year was it though? Yeah. Remove one.
2019.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
pre-pandemic though.
Pre-pandemic.
Touch the rim now. I said, yeah, maybe.
You could touch the rim now, pause. But anyway, we move. Big guest today. You know, we're moving on a different kind of wave today. We brought the big bosses in. The big bosses called and said they're pulling up. You have to make it happen immediately.
Yeah. Just clear out the whole diary for them.
Everything gets moved aside to make things happen. Because these men are inspirations and it's all motivational over here. You know, that's what we deal with. So we've got, as you said, say it again, Doug.
CEO's favorite CEO.
So which one is the CEO's favorite CEO?
Both of them come as a collective.
Okay, I hear that.
See,
he's on job today.
I'm on
I just
job.
tell him to make sure that he's
That
ready.
was smooth still.
That was smooth.
Yeah. Come on, man. That's what we do, man.
Even
We
though
do
Austin's
this.
my guy, you get me? I've got to pay homage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we got, as we just said, got Austin in the building. Big Austin, you know.
Yes.
Spotify's own. Atlantic's own. He's done so much. I can't
Keep moving.
even too much. Sorry. Austin, we must say OBE, you know.
I was like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here, bro? That's some real shit.
Yeah. We're not saying no Illuminati. We're saying hard work and dedication.
Straight up.
Because we don't believe in none of those things.
Nah,
We
man.
believe in the dedication the man then put in to accomplish great things.
Man, hard work, bro.
Years of it. And by his side, legend in the game. Yeah, you. That's if you left the red. You know where it is. One of the most humble guys. Part of a collective that confuses me. The twins, they confuse me. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Twin life.
Twin life. Alec Boateng, Twin B, however you may know him. The president of 0207 Def Jam. Good to have you both here. Big supporter of everything that we do over here. We know that already, Austin, from long time twin. Great to have you here. Yeah, man. You and your brother. I'm not gonna lie. I was confused. Like I had to ask Austin which twins come in. I've been speaking to one twin already about. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pull up." Then Austin said, "I'm coming twin." I was like, "Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday." They said, "No, you didn't." It weren't that one. Then I was like, "I'll be raw." When you said, I was like, "Which one is it?" So I hit up. I won't say who. I hit up a guy and was like, "Which twin is Austin most likely to come with?" He's like, "I don't know. I get them confused myself, bro. I don't know." He's like, one's got hair and the other one ain't. I was like,
But he's growing his hair. That's the funny thing.
yeah, that's what's messed the game up. So now I just had to hit Austin and say, yeah, so who's you pulling up? And Austin just was like, boom, this is who. But I know both of you. You both done incredible things, and I'm glad to have you here.
God's
Nothing
grace,
but
yeah,
manners
man.
and respect.
Same.
Always about God's grace. I
Honor to be
appreciate
on this
both of
sofa, boy. It's like
No, listen, man.
I'm all nervous and that.
Nah, man.
don't be.
We're happy to have created a
this is your
platform
natural seat, bro.
to be able to have these conversations
Yeah, man.
with people like such as yourself, man. So, yeah, man. I don't know. Where should we begin? Anyone got Carnival? Let's keep.
You know what? Before we get into Carnival, I bought a little present for you, lot. Do you know what I'm saying? We did. Sorry, because there's no I and we.
Come on, man.
So I've been watching the clips that you guys have been putting up for the last
monstrous
5-6 years now. Do you know what I'm saying? And this sofa's so iconic. Do you know what I mean? The alcohol that you got there so iconic. So we just thought, we'll buy some bottles to add to the table. Do you see what I'm saying? I know you're not on my way, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? But they didn't have my way in Majestic Wines Blackheath, so I had to get. So we had to get Majestic Wines Blackheath. Twin paid for half, so it's a present from both of us.
Yeah.
There you go.
Congrats on everything.
Appreciate it.
That's great. And you know what I respect more than anything is commitment.
Appreciate it.
Commitment, man. I think anything creative is very much about just like doing it on a regular basis.
Appreciate
ups,
it, man.
downs, rain, snow. Like to be having something going as like
this is a bit big,
regular as this podcast is going is amazing.
Nah, to be fair with you, to be honest, that's something I was really on from the beginning. Like, has to be product every week, be consistent, and the guys have been supportive with it, man. No one really flops, no one really lets us down. We keep it moving. But you know that already because you did radio for a long time.
I did radio for a long time.
For a long time, so you know the commitment.
Yeah, 100%. And also that it's not easy because a lot of people just kind of switch on to something that they get regularly and not know that it takes a commitment. It takes like, obviously there's people behind the scenes. It takes finding somewhere to do it. And it takes also giving something of yourself as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're almost not doing it for yourself. Like it's like a service in a certain way. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't see that side of things. They've obviously got a lot of like opinion and things to say. But yeah, it's respected, man. Yeah. Congrats.
No, listen, sometimes when I hear that it's respected, or when I get to understand how respected this platform is across the board, even I'm a bit surprised at times. To be real with you, because there's not many people that we bump into that don't know about this podcast. Like anywhere we go, they know winners, and it's humbling still. And I'm grateful. I know Doug's grateful as well.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed.
Definitely,
man. Blessed.
And also, it's just the fact that you lot have been able to cut through the noise. If you think about how many podcasts were around the culture when we sat down and spoke about it years ago, and how many content creators there are now, how many streamers there are now. Big them all up, obviously. All them podcasts. I watch all of them clips on my timeline. But the fact that your clips cut through alongside them, it's a blessing, man. And it goes to the hard work. I've been doing, man. Yeah, it's proper.
5 years strong, man.
There's no games.
Long time, man. We've been moving.
And all of that. But it's not about us right now. As much as we appreciate that, it's about you guys right now. You're the guests. We can talk all the time. It's not every week we're going to have the big bosses here, so we have to talk to the big bosses. Right, let's talk Austin for a moment, just for a moment. Then we're going to get on to Twin, because we're going to ask you both the same kind of question, because both of you have put a lot of people in better positions in life.
100%, man.
The streets say Spotify Austin changed the game.
Bro, no.
Spotify Austin is the That's what the streets say.
I see a meme that was like, the streets will never forget. You know
Spotify Austin.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
That's
realness.
Yeah, you know what? That's the first time I've heard that. Yeah, but I would just say, see the culture that I'm from. Yeah, if one person got a job in JD Sports or Foot Locker or Abbey National or Halifax or wherever, they were bringing everyone through. Do you get what I'm saying?
Come on, and you're real to that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Real to that.
So my whole thing is that when I was at radio, working with Twin back in the day, there was a playlist, and that playlist only had 40 spaces on there. And you couldn't change every single song every single week. So that meant that every week I could only put on 3, 4, 5 people. Do you get what I'm saying? When I joined Spotify, it was like an endless amount of playlists. So everyone could win as much as possible. Do you get what I'm saying? But also I just feel like I'm a risk taker. So and I'm not afraid to tell my opinion. So whereas other people might turn around and say, you know what, I'm not too sure about this, so let me say no. I'd rather go on the side of yes. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I believe that everyone deserves a chance. And when there's an opportunity to support young black girls and boys, or just people that are from an area or from a family or from a background that's not too great, whatever the colour, I just feel like it's my job to help out. Do you get what I'm saying? And that Spotify was the biggest magnification of that, and Apple Music as well. But Spotify, I think most people remember that time with fondly. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah. We're going to talk more on that. You're from Woolwich originally, right? You're from East, but which part, Twin?
Like, I was born in Plaistow, really came up in Bethnal Green, but like as a kid, like, bro, really. But I went to school and college in South, though.
You went Lewisham, Christ the King. How did you manage that? Local as well. I always like to bring it back to my bits.
You know what, like when I went to school in Bermondsey, and then all my friends went Christ the King.
Come on.
So I just followed.
Local.
But like, yeah, it was very bait time.
Yeah,
It was when it was like problematic. All the little wars was going on in
you,
South.
you were going there at like
Yeah, mate. Peak
Right,
time
yeah,
of
definitely.
like, yeah. And then of mine were like the people I knew, like my friends, were more from ghetto basically.
Yeah.
Versus what was going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, after school running back to East for peace, bruv.
Yeah. Christ the King, it was active around them side,
Yeah.
them times.
Very
yeah.
active, boy.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I did
mate.
I found that out, you know.
Yeah.
You went school, not school. Was it sixth form college?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the ends.
Yeah.
You and your brother both went there.
No, you know what? He went SFX.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh,
Yeah. That was when we first started to
Yeah.
Stratton.
Streatham. Okay, yeah. 'Cause I heard of it. I just didn't know where it
South,
was.
yeah.
Them kind of corners.
Yeah, man. So like, yeah, with my twin, like I didn't finish uni. I got into the music game proper. Like I said, one extra, getting into A&R, I dropped out of uni and just really kind of drove into that. My brother finished uni, got a marketing degree, and then he got into, a lot of stuff in the background at One Extra production-wise, and then got into marketing properly at Ireland and started off like with the Tinchy stuff. I think that was the first thing. They had number ones with that with Benny and Jack and crew, and he worked with Darkus and, was doing a lot of marketing with Drake, a lot of the Young Money stuff, and then did A&R with like the likes of like JP Cooper, Big Shaq, all of that stuff as well. So yeah, and that was all before we launched the label. So he was like going really hard on that side of things for years, probably 10 years before we started the label now, maths wise. It's mad.
What about you, Austin? Where did you
So I went to college in Orpington. So it was perfect for me because it got me out of the madness of Woolwich. Do you get what I'm saying? Because me and Doug grew up around a lot of the same people, do you know what I mean? A lot of the same environment. And for me, it was like, all right, you know what? There's a choice. I can either go further into South, Greenwich, Charlton, Kidbrook, do you know what I mean? All them, or step out. I then had to step out. So I went to Orpington College, man, and it was great. And obviously it wasn't without its problems, do you know what I mean? But it was a lot calmer than Christ the King.
So deep.
You went Crown Woods as well, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which again, it was hectic at the time because Crown Woods and Elton was weird. It was a bit of a melting pot of people from Lewisham, New Cross, Deptford, where their parents were trying to send them to a better school. Then you had like Woolwich and all of that part of South. And then you then had like, and obviously we're talking the late 90s, early noughties now, where Elton was still racist. Do you know what I'm saying? So you had a bunch of racist kids going to the school. So it was this mad melting pot. Do you get what I'm saying? And, I got my bridging Chris with me that I went to school with here as well, man. He's here now. And he's, I'll pick him up and talk more about him later. But man, it was, when I think back to my childhood, it was a happy time. It was a fun time. But I'm like, how did I survive some of the mad situations, you know what I'm saying, that I put myself in. So,
You know what makes that like a thing is, as you travel the corporate world and certain environments where you talk about like certain things you experienced as a kid, and then like you see the horror in people's faces sometimes, you think, that's like, and it ain't even that bad. I'm not even talking some mad horror stories, but there's certain situations that you talk to people about, like school-wise or like I always say, do you know what the first money that I earned was?
Go on.
ID parades.
Oh yeah,
ID
yeah.
parades.
When you did that, I remember that.
Like, how are the police like turning up to schools and taking kids who look like potential people in bad situations and literally giving us money, taking us to the police station and dropping us back to school?
That's mad, because you know what if you got picked out by accident?
But even just obviously psychologically as a young black kid, like actually kind of engaging with,
indoctrinating your mind a certain kind of way.
and just positioning where you sit in society in that way so early on. Do you know what I mean?
I fully get what you mean.
So mad. And I think back to bro, like when I've said that to someone, they're like, oh.
But you know how many people come in and say the same thing? Bare people come in and they say, bare artists or whoever, they come and say the same thing, that when they're in certain rooms and they talk about how they grew up and the things they experienced and saw, the people can't believe it. It's like a movie to them, but we've just grown up a certain kind of way.
It's been normal to us.
Yeah, how did the transition come for both of you, like to start heading in the musical direction? I heard you got a computer, your mum bought a computer home.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's just a bit of luck, really, in that, like.
Big up mummy, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Big up mumsy, man. So, it was a little bit of luck where basically I was the only person in my area that had a computer. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the time,
Like
on the
PC.
estate. Exactly, like a
Yeah.
PC. So that's kind of how I first got into it, because people were coming to my yard to burn CDs. People would come to me and ask for help putting together flyers, etc. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I really just fell into it, because for me, I was watching how some of my brethren were getting money. We're talking 16, 17, 18 years old now in these times. And the risk versus reward just didn't really seem worth it. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm seeing them get involved in madnesses. I'm seeing all types of, let's just say, negative situations happen. And I was like, right, like, for 5 bills, £1,000, that's not really worth it. Obviously, some were way more successful, some less so. Do you know what I mean? But I always felt to myself like, and I was lucky because in my household, I had 3 really good examples where I had 2 older sisters that were working full time. So I could see, right, okay, they're doing the same things, but they're doing their thing legally. Do you get what I'm saying? So even though it didn't necessarily stop me from scraping against the law or scraping against certain situations, I always just said to myself, let me just try and go the legal route. So I really fell into music. I'll be really honest about that. Like, I always wanted to work in the entertainment industry. And I loved music. I was a fan of music. Music soundtracked my whole teenage years and my whole childhood. But I didn't even know there was a music industry. Do you get what I'm saying? What happened was my brethren Smiler, who was rapping, you
Shout
obviously
out
SM,
Smiler.
big up
Smiler.
Smiler. Obviously,
Smiler.
again, we'll get into him in a bit, but big up Smiler. Smiler was rapping. Smiler needed a manager. I was the only person on the ends who had a good telephone voice. I could mimic the Anglo-Saxon, do you know what I'm saying? Voice. And he was like, yo, why don't you manage me? So by managing him, that was my gateway into the industry.
Yes. Yeah.
Big up Smiler.
Yeah,
Good
big up
guy,
SM,
man.
man.
Yeah.
That's
Good
my
guy,
guy,
you know.
That's like,
And a good rapper.
you know what I mean?
Very
Yeah,
good.
you
No,
know,
great
you
rapper.
know,
Proper
you know
rapper.
that from day
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Primary
he's a
school,
good rapper.
secondary school,
Yeah.
college. You know, we both, you know, I've spoken about it before, so it's nothing serious, but we both got arrested together at the same time. Do you know what I mean? The first time I got nicked, it was with Smiler. So it's like, it's one of those ones where that's my brother. Do you know what I mean? From day one, I'll always have his back. Do you know what I mean? And big him up and his brand Steppers. He's got a footwear brand called Steppers that protects the midsole of your shoe, man. So we'll try and put a link
Oh,
in.
yeah,
man. And
yeah,
let's connect
yeah,
that
yeah,
one now.
Made that
Yeah,
happen.
man.
Yeah, we'll put
What
that
about
on the
yourself?
thing.
What about yourself, Twin?
I can't lie. I've always like loved music.
Yeah, yeah.
On like a proper deeper level. Like just love music. It's always been a thing. Like it was never a plan to have like a career in music, but like I guess when I was a kid, I'm talking from primary school, I used to be glued to the radio, like, and then you know who I have to big up, and I never big him up as much as I should. DJ Carnage from Roll Deep. Went to primary school with him, and I remember Lyra's birthday, 12th birthday. This is mid-90s, like, so we were kids, and he's like, we're like 11, 12, and he played a 6 set on vinyl. Like he's one of like the first people that was ever on Rinse. Big up Marvin. And seeing him mash up that little party was mad inspiring. Like that was one of the reasons I got into like collecting music.
Yeah.
And then from there, like I was always the person at school who like knew what was coming out when, and like, you know, like I used to have fun like picking singles out of albums and all that, and always took an interest in like producers, like labels to a certain degree. I didn't like kind of know I took as much attention as I did. Like, only, like later on, I was like, all right, I used to take interest in like even writers and people that were behind records, and I had a favorite producer as a kid and stuff like that. And I remember I started collecting so much music that when people wanted tapes or had parties, I'll be the one to put it all together. And big up Terry Tonka.
Tonka T, you know.
Big up Tonka T.
Yeah.
Old school,
That's
yeah.
my dog.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, big up Tonka. He's gonna laugh with this clip. Like he had a party. Big up Remedy, all that lot was there. All the Ghetto lot, all the Blue Bar lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember,
Essentials.
yeah. Essentials, big up Essentials. And I remember like I took all my little box of CDs, and this is the funny thing. See, when you're a kid, I don't know how at 13, 14, 15, I was buying import CDs at £7, £8, £9. Like, as in the funny thing about being into music then is that like it was flipping expensive, man. It was a really expensive like hobby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And for me, like obviously, kind of worked out a bit to have that as a hobby.
Yeah, just a
But
bit.
yeah, innit? A little bit. But again, like
This much.
having
Little piece.
that passion and like caring about music enough, like I just became obsessed with having as much as possible. And then it spun into DJing. So like, Tonka had a party and we were doing like the music upstairs. We were like programming the records from CDs into like, and then I got my CDs back and it said Twin B. He wrote Twin B on my CDs. So Tonka T is actually the person.
Named you.
Yeah.
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 Was your brother into music as well them times?
Not as like yes, because our house was full of music,
But not like you were.
a bit later on, I would say he came into it in that sense a little bit. I would say that, but he might be saying.
I know what you want to say.
He might say,
You know what I think?
He probably already knows that whole twin telepathy thing. He's inside front, you know what I mean? Just thinking.
Your phone's going off.
Bro, to me, that's how it's supposed to go anyway. If I've got two brothers, whether it's twin or not, if there's something I find that's working, I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it interesting. I want my brother to work with me.
Yeah, man.
Take it interesting.
So yeah, that was like in a way a lot happened after that, but that was like
The beginning.
Yeah.
Was you DJing when you was going Christ the King?
Yeah.
heavy.
Like anyone who went Christ the King those times, if you had a party, like me and my brother were playing the R&B and hip hop. Like I'm talking, and these times again, you see like the commitment to being a DJ those times, like early noughties, you had to carry monster bags of records.
Yeah. I remember.
As in like being a DJ was
with
expensive.
crates and bags.
Yeah, man. Like, and even
cases and that.
like Pirate Radio. Big up G at Rinse, big up the Mission FM crew who we used to give money. And big up, my brethren DJ Crisis, Hainsley. His house was where we were all committed to like mixing, and DJ Wonder and all my like kind of like the people that just love mixing.
Yeah.
It's such a weird hobby, but we just loved mixing. Like, do you know what I mean? And carrying those records and having to kind of go 10 flights upstairs and pay £20 subs, like doing radio those times cost money.
Yeah.
Like actually cost money, because I think the ideology behind it was like you build up a brand where like you start getting bookings and you get heard on Pirate. So you start making like, so you almost invest in yourself in some weird way. Yeah. If that makes any sense. As in being a DJ was a mad expensive. Like, do you know what I mean? And then there's like, big up all the people who could afford like 12, 10 decks, and the people that had like belt driven DJs would understand the difference between like the cost difference and the technical difference. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it was a very, like you had to be committed and care enough about wanting to do that, to do it. Do you know what I mean? So that was me as a teenager, like just figuring out like how I could get as close to music as possible with no idea. Like Austin said, again, from where we're from, no one works in music. Like, no one, like no one even near like has a job in music. Like,
so you was there because Kenny Allstar went Christ the King, but he must have gone.
Nah, he was
like
younger.
He was younger. A good few years after.
Yeah.
So some talent came out of there still.
Yeah.
And SFX as well. Dummy went SFX. Obviously Tiny went SFX.
Yeah.
I was just claiming it because Lewisham, you know me.
Oh, okay. Lewisham are full of legends, bro.
Yeah, you know,
like,
is what it is.
Yeah, man.
But all right. So when you two went One Extra, who was there first? You.
Twin was there first, and then I joined.
What was your role at One Extra then?
So what happened was, it was jokes, because basically I was working in the BBC marketing department, but for like the centralized team. So I wasn't working in radio at the time. Okay. And what happened was my job was called media coordinator. Yeah. So a media coordinator is someone who, you know, the BBC doesn't have adverts, but they have adverts for their own TV shows and radio programs, you know, between programs. I program those, So I was a media coordinator. So between the news and EastEnders, I would program the adverts in between. So what happened was I was on the BBC jobs website because, you know, I wasn't really feeling satisfied in the role. I felt a little bit out of place. The BBC that I joined back then was way more... it was like divided by class, it felt like at the time. Do you get what I'm saying? So I didn't really feel like I fitted in. So I was on the internal jobs website looking for a way out. And I saw a job advertised that said music coordinator. And it was basically my exact job description, but instead of scheduling the adverts, it was scheduling music. So I was a junior at the time. I was like 20, just turned 20. So I said to myself, this is perfect. This is like basically my job, but just music instead. But what I didn't realize at the time was music coordinator was like the second most important job at the station. But the word coordinator to me sounded like a more junior role. Do you get what I'm saying? So I just applied for it, not even thinking anything. And for whatever reason, and big up Laura Lucans, do you know what I mean? A legend. Laura Lucans doesn't get anywhere near as much credit.
She's still a legend.
Do you know? Yeah, she still is a legend. She's at Amazon Music now, doing amazing things. But Laura Lucans, when you talk about that first generation of black music bussing in the UK, the first generation of the modern generation anyway. So we're talking the mid-noughties, Laura Lucans is responsible for a lot of that. Do you know what I mean?
And quietly as well.
Exactly.
Without
Like
shouting about it,
exactly.
without a profile.
Fully.
And you know what? A music lover as well.
Fully, man.
Still talk to her about rhythms and tunes and that.
Do you know what I mean? So Laura's a legend, man. And, you know what I mean? She just, I went for this interview and she obviously saw something in me. And at that time, the only experience I had was managing Smiler. Do you know what I mean? In terms of music, that was the only experience I had. But she saw something in me. And to this day, I don't know what she saw in me. There were so many people that were way more qualified than me for the role. And she gave me the role, man. Do you know what I mean? So that's how the transition happened. And that was, like I said, that was 2006, you know. And then
man came with that Woolies boy aura, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Riz, I think the young ones call it Riz now. Exactly. But, so that's how it happened.
Love that.
And then what happened with Twin was, I actually saw Twin's brother, Alex, first. And then, but because I'd seen pictures of you, I thought it was you. And I was chatting to him. I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with you." And the out of all the thing that these men do is they play into it. So
you got to understand. I can clear this up. Do you know how much effort it takes to explain to someone, one, you're a twin, and then like you get the 30 seconds of shot. Oh my gosh, you look just the same. Sometimes I'll have the conversation, pretend I'm him. I'll just admit that now, and then just like tell him what I said. What you said.
I would do the same. Still, not gonna
saves time.
I would do the same.
So you know what it was? What show were you doing back then?
Homegrown.
So what time? When were you in?
Saturday 5 to 7. But I would always come in the week.
Because basically this went on for like a year. So it's like it was like a year. He was working. I thought so.
He was working.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I got them mixed up for a year, and then once you kept your hair, and I think his brother cut his or something, and I started to clock the differences.
That makes me feel better still.
Yeah.
Moving on. So when you had One Extra, what was your job title at One Extra by the time you reached the pinnacle where you were at there?
So my job title at One Extra was so I started off as music coordinator. The music coordinator programs the music. So a lot of people think that the daytime DJs choose the music that they're playing, but it's actually a music team that are deciding the majority of that music. So I was a music coordinator. Then I was promoted to music manager.
So it ain't an easy job as well. Because the pressure with coordinating music when there's bare genres, and also UK to US, because that was a very funny time. Do you know what I'm saying? When obviously things started to emerge from the UK that started to matter and sell records. But then at the same time, like, how do I put it? Evolving underground scene, innit?
Yeah.
So like playing, you've got to keep an audience, innit? So it's like, and again, it's like being a DJ without being a DJ in the sense of, see, as a DJ, half of the job if you're playing out, for instance, is to keep people on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you've always got to think 3 records ahead or break up your genres or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's the same with being a music coordinator in the sense of like, you've got to keep people listening. So you've got to kind of like, it's weird because I do think you develop an ear of how things flow, how it works, playing records at a certain time, playing certain genres at a certain time. And obviously One Extra's playing things or like drum and bass into ballads. So there's a skill of kind of knowing how to kind of make half an hour of music on the radio sound like how. And
it's going out to the masses as
well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's instant feedback as well. So I think my confidence with feeling like I know how the population think comes from the feedback was instant. If you played a song that didn't work, you wouldn't only hear it from the DJ who would like, while the song was playing, they would like come out of the studio and be like, yo, don't program that again. But you would also hear it from the public as well. Because this is during the height of people texting into radio, emailing in. People would even sometimes write in like pen letters. I didn't like it when you played that song at 3:45 p.m. on the 2nd of July or whatever. So it's like...
No, that's my birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
That's mad. I don't know. Happy belated. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, see that? But anyway, so it's like... I mean, that was God. That was there.
Don't even question it. Just go with it.
So it's like, so yeah, you've just thrown me off. But yeah, so it's like, so just having that sensitivity around every single song matters. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's definitely where I feel like I hone my skills in terms of, like I said, being able to sort of predict how I feel the public are going to move and behave around something. And that's kind of luckily been able to carry me throughout my career.
So when, go on.
I was going to say, what kind of year, so we can get a time frame, what kind of year was that?
So I joined the BBC 2005, 20 years ago, this October, just before my 20th birthday. And then 2006, I joined One Extra. I got promoted in 2010, I want to say, 2010. And then but it was a temporary promotion because what happened was Laura got pregnant. So she went on maternity leave. So then what happened was I then sort of stepped up temporarily to cover her. And then when she came back off maternity leave, I suppose I was being a little bit spoiled and immature and was like, I don't want to go back down to the money I was on before and whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave for a few years and learn how the business runs from a different angle.
Yeah. Is that when you started the hub?
Yeah, exactly.
That's 2010. That's when like Tiny and them started busting, innit? Temper and all that.
Yeah, I was at One Extra them times when Tiny bust. In fact, we actually booked Tiny the week that he was number one. We booked him for a show in Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? So when him and Dummy and the team were celebrating number one, we were there with him. Do you know what I mean? For an event. Big up Dummy, man.
So, what was it like when you're in that position now at One Extra, and you know everyone wants to be on, everyone wants favors, everyone like your name's calling, you're the guy. How did you balance that? And yourself, how do you balance that? Because people want favors, people want to get played.
Yeah,
they're not
definitely.
They're not understanding the inner workings of how things need to go, so to speak.
Yeah.
Even I pulled up. You did show me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was about to bait you up. I was about to bait you up on that. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's be clear. You know, I didn't remember that. You know, until when you showed me the phone that day. Remember we was at Blue Water with Austin and we were talking, and then I said, "Yeah, let me give you my number." And he turned his phone and goes, "You're not on this one no more." And I was thinking, "How the fuck? How you got my number?" And he said, "You turned up at One Extra."
Yeah, man.
I don't think it.
It wasn't a bully boy thing. Like, you know what it is?
It was fresh, I think, probably. But go on.
It wasn't a bully boy thing. I think
respectfully.
Yeah, it was respectful. You know what it is? This is before Twitter and Instagram. Yeah. And my name's Austin. So a lot of people didn't even realize I was black.
Yeah.
Let alone from the same place they're from.
Yeah.
So I think during a lot of the early years, people would just hear, there's a guy at One Extra, he can get you playlisted. The same way where we're from, you might hear, there's a guy that works in Foot Locker. There's a guy that works in Halifax. Do you know what I mean? It's the same kind of vibe, yeah? So I feel like certain people pulled up and then
just me.
They saw me and it just, you were one of many. Exactly. You were one of many.
And I pulled up respectfully.
Yeah. You pulled up respectfully. Yeah, you did. You know what I'm saying? One D.
I come on,
I came down. But you know what it is? The ones that didn't pull up respectfully, as soon as I came, like, they were just shocked that someone who looked like them was the guy coming down. I'll never forget.
Unbelievable.
A rapper pulled up, and as I was coming down to reception, I heard him be like, "Yeah, where's this Austin guy?" And I went, "Oh, yo, what's going on, man? I'm Austin." And you just see like
everything changed.
Just everything changed. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he was just so ready to. Let's say assert his authority or dominance. Do you know what I mean? And he just saw it was me and was like, "You're one of us." Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like there's gonna be some people that felt like I could have supported them more, but I think exactly. But I think the reason why so many people probably show me a level of respect is because they know when I didn't have to, I helped out the man. All the man.
I remember.
Wait, how did the interaction go? I'm intrigued. So from your perspective, so you've approached.
I'm glad you
Austin.
done it.
From your
And then I'm gonna tell you my perspective.
Yeah.
From my perspective, from what I can recall, I've just come up there. I've said, "Listen, can I speak?" Look at stop doing it like this. I've just gone up there and I've said, "Hi, how you doing? Is it possible to speak to Austin? I've got some music, And I think they made a call up to you or something.
Yeah, correct.
Then he came down. I think did you come down?
I did come down. Yeah,
he came down. We spoke briefly. You understand? He said, he knows who I was. He knew who I was. Blah 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 blah. I said, cool. Exchanged numbers, and that was it. Politely, neatly, bro. I don't do the bully thing. I don't like bullies. No. I'm always respectful, bro. Come on, man.
Nah. It was respectful. And to be fair,
to let them know, Austin, straight from the boss's mouth. Go on, let them tell it.
No one's ever bullied me. That's the first thing I'm gonna say.
Exactly.
No one's ever bullied me. I'm happy to be saying.
So
But
obviously-
what I'm saying
That's
is,
right, yeah.
it's jokes because basically, obviously, I'm from Woolwich.
Let them know.
Woolwich and Lewisham had problems.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved in none of that. But I'm from an area that had problems with Lewisham. So when I heard Pounds was downstairs, I've called Smiler. I big up SM because
That's my guy,
I
though,
think
man.
a lot of situations probably would have turned into bully situations if SM didn't assert his authority to, you know what I mean, his divine intervention on certain situations. So I've called SM. I said, how far are you from where I work? He went, I'm in wherever. I said, yeah, that brother Pound Sterling is just turned up. Smalls went, oh, yeah, he's just turned up. He went, all right, you know what? And I've never told this story. He said, leave, because it was a BlackBerry Messenger them times. He said, leave the BlackBerry in your pocket while you go downstairs and see him.
Man,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what he
I
said.
can imagine.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I
So
can
big up
imagine.
SM, man. SM always, do you know what I
imagine.
mean? SM and
But no,
you know.
No, that was never.
But like I said, it was never that. And to be
Nah.
fair to...
Be fair.
No, I was
Go
going
on,
to say,
be
to be fair to everyone in the whole industry, I've had very few problems in the whole industry. And again, coming from where we're from, because the decisions that me and Twin made, and still do, but at the time more so, had a direct financial impact. Me putting someone on a playlist is PRS money. Do you get what I'm saying? Me, Twin doing a deal with someone is money in their pocket. So it's like the potential for there to be those type of situations to go left, it was high. But luckily, I avoided the vast majority of those situations. But just so everyone can see, I will talk to the camera directly. Pounds was nice to me. It was all
It
cool.
was.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's fine.
Don't get me wrong. Them times there, maybe I was a different individual, but my mindset was always the same. Of like,
Yeah.
like.
What year? What time?
we're
So check
talking-
this. This would have been late 2009 or something.
Yeah.
But check this. This just goes to show you that when you keep good relationships,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's the point I wanted
because
to
look
get
at
to.
this. The next time I saw you was in Blue Water Shopping
Exactly.
Centre, cutting a check. All from that interaction, 10 years, 11 years previously.
And that's why it's good to live good with people. Because that's what I was
100%.
going to say to you, Twin. Like, see, with me, like, I'm very, even then, I was very aware of what's what. Like, whatever I might have had going on at that time in my life differently, when it came to business, I'm always thinking longevity, trying to better my situation, seeing how I can get, like, I'm trying to get out of whatever's going on. So I'm not trying to burn bridges. So when the man comes down, I'm shaking his hand, I'm speaking to him respectfully and whatever. We pulled up on Westwood the same way back in the day, bro. You understand? And it was the same thing. And he said the same thing as well. Where did we go to Westwood? Somewhere far. We pulled up on him and he was like, bro, I know you already. Man. We're going to be playing there anyway. We're good. It's just like that. It was just the extra effort. Because to the bros, and I've heard other people say this as well, it's almost, not to exaggerate it, but it can be literally, it's as deep as life and death. Sometimes to be able to better your situation for you and your people. It's the difference between life, death, prison or freedom. You see what I'm saying? So for me to make that trip, I'm going to make the trip. And thankfully, I've always been a respectful guy.
Years on.
See what I'm saying? Years on, we can sit
Kind of the love is there. You get
and
me?
and that's why I think, in fact, that's why I know and always respected that within 2 episodes, you recognise what was going on with the pod because you knew me from then and you knew now and you understood it fast. But let's get back to this. So you two, you're at One Extra, Twin.
Yeah, I was there a bit before though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were there before.
Yeah, I was there a bit before.
But I want you to take me from, I know the One Extra journey took you to a position, Def Jam, etc., etc.
Yeah,
But
but you know what?
go on.
Yeah, no.
Talk to
So the
me.
funny thing is, like, so even how I ended up on One Extra. So I did a mixtape. It's kind of like folklore, like as in you have to find it because we only did 1,000. There's a few links on YouTube. You can hear SAS on Eskimo. You can hear Kano and Demon on a J Dilla beat. Dirty Goods was on it. Sincere, Big Up Sin.
Big up, sis.
Yeah, big up Sin.
Smashing up, big up Sin.
Big up Sin.
Kalashnikov, D Double,
Chase.
Lethal,
Chase.
Iceberg Slim. We mentioned
Iceberg
before.
Slim,
Like, as in,
yeah.
basically, the
Fuck
concept
yeah,
of the mixtape, I just random got up one morning and was like, just want to put a mixtape together and flip things a bit, put the grime lot on hip hop and try some of the, like, that's why SAS ended up on Eskimo. Big up SAS. And just kind of like put together, Estelle was on it as well, Doneo, put together a collection of the energies that was going on because I'm in this because I love music. And at that period of time, I came up in East, and my older brother went to like school and college. Do you know who else I need to big up? God rest his soul. The first superstar from my area was Major Ace. Big up Major Ace. Big up Major Ace, yeah. Big up Major Ace, man. Like my older brother came home from school one day, year 7, year 8, and said his friend Luke was spitting on radio. This is like, I'm a kid, I'm in primary school. And Magic FM, big up everyone who remembers 90.2. And his friend Luke, Major Ace, was on radio. This is like, and obviously he's gone on to like Pay As You Go. But like Pay As You Go when it was SPP, Plague and Slimzy. This is even before Maxwell. Like I'm talking like old school.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing, and these are like people that I'm around, innit? Like, and obviously the timeless legend for my ends in that era is Wiley. Do you know what I mean? Big up Wiley each and every. And all of these people that are people that I'm around from when I was a kid on a human level. Like the point where Wiley's uncle took me to church. Like, do you know what I mean? As a kid. And big up like his sisters and all those people, like my friends, Joy, his cousin. And like obviously coming up and watching that, and then people from my area like Dylan turning into Dizzy Rascal and all these people becoming superstars was just like, and I'm talking superstars from a point of view of like, obviously I'm going from east to south. So I'll never forget going to college one day, and this is like just post like Soul Solid's emergence, and then people knew Major Ace and then they started to know Dizzy. So, you know, it's like when you go from one area to another and then like pirate radio is starting to connect the people that you grew up with in the next ends, and it's like mad inspiring. And so obviously I'm DJing in that, like playing hip hop and R&B, and like just wanted to capture that moment somehow. And obviously, luckily enough, because I knew people who knew people who knew people, the first session that I did, big up Kano each and every time. First session I did with that mixtape was my brethren DJ Wonder, big up DJ Wonder. He had this wicked instrumental called What Have You Done? He had this sample. And then I got like council funding to fund the mixtape, just conceptually. And big up Tim and Barry as well. When I started DJing, I was DJing a bit in Shoreditch. And I remember like, it was Kano, a few other people like came down to a few of the nights that they had. And it's, if you're into grime, you know who Tim and Barry are. And they were like well-known photographers at the time for like ID magazine and whatnot.
ID magazine,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
old.
Yeah. And they kind of helped from a point of like, how do I put it? Like just coming up with some of the concepts for the tape, etc., and some of the beats, etc. Because Tim had this place in Whitechapel, and we used to go and just like listen through all the vinyls. That's where I got the J Dilla beat on this Kano freestyle. Actually, big up Tim. And then yeah, the mixtape came together, and it kind of blew up. It won an Urban Music Award for like best compilation. And then like I ended up doing like loads of interviews. Like one interview we did like a 7-8 page spread in ID magazine. And them times I'm not. Mad. That's like even why doing it. I'm not a profile-y type person. I know it ended up on radio and all that. I'm not that guy. Yeah. So even when we did that, we did like a photo shoot. Big up Kano, Demon, SAS, J2K. They all did the photo shoot, and I left my details on the splitmics@hotmail.com on the article in ID magazine, and I checked it and I had loads of emails. And then one of the emails, someone from BBC got in contact. Big up Sunil, and he was a producer on Ras Kwame's show. And it turns out he bought the mixtape from Central. And yeah, he hit me up and said, "Can you come on the show and just talk about the mixtape?" I came on the show, and then he pulled us aside. I went up there with Wonder, my twin, and a few other people, and he pulled aside and said, like, do you want to do a show? Basically.
Just like that?
On Extra, yeah. Like, and he said, do you want to do a pilot? I did not have a clue what he meant. Like, and then I did a demo for a show and ended up like on the weekends. We got Ras Kwame as well, that's whose show it was. Of course, I was on.
Every time.
Like, absolute legend. See, with Ras as well, obviously the UK music scene's in like a sick place, but at that time, the reason I even ended up on that show is that he used to play 2 hours of just UK music on the radio.
He's one of the first I heard doing
that.
Like, I didn't hear no one doing that before Ras Kwame.
And I always hear stories of when One Extra started. I wasn't there when it actually started, but everyone was looking at him like, rah, that's like a dead concept to a certain degree. Like, I just don't forget how big American hip hop is. And so it's like, rah, like the UK scene ain't got like, it's not shining at all. Like, it's not that type of thing. Like, and he was a pioneer. So big up Ras, but ended up on the show. And then ended up on One Extra. Like just before Austin got there, and I was doing like a weekend show, and then I ended up doing a breakfast show. I was on One Extra for like years. I left about 5 years ago. Yeah. But then, and at the same month I started at One Extra, I got an A&R job at Ministry of Sound.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah, sorry. So that's how I started from that point of view. I did not know what A&R was, by the way. I didn't have a clue. And when I did the mixtape, someone from Warner, 679 Records, loved Kano
Yeah.
and hit me up and wanted more information and a contact.
So did you kind of make that happen?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah. And I also got emails from, I met amazing people then who were still in the game. Big up Glenn Aikens, who made time for me, who now runs RCA, one of the legendary black A&R, like industry people, like Emily Sunday, like, as in like amazing at what he does. I met Darkest them times. I met Ben Cook, who's the person who gave me a job at Ministry of Sound. And then I met a guy called Richard Antwi. Richard Antwi, I could talk about him for hours, like legend. He's like one of the reasons that I was even able to navigate at such a young age and have a career, because seeing a young black man who came from the hood, like Chalk Hill Estate, he came from like, it's not even there no more, that estate was that bad. And he went to Oxford, so he was already respected when he walked in a room for who and what he was, and he was looking after Adele Lawyer Wise at the time, and I remember he was managing Jack Penyate, and lucky enough to work closely with him, we ran levels, and even with Wretch, like I remember when we did that deal, when we was doing all of the like master stuff, and he was ahead of the game in that sense of making sure Wretch has like owned his masters for years, because the way that deal was shaped, it came back to him, and Rich really advised and drove that, and he was like a industry angel for so many people who came from culture, including myself, and it's 10 years in Feb since he passed, man. Yeah, big up Rich. He sadly has passed away, but he basically explained what I was doing. He's saying what you're doing and where you sit in terms of what this music industry is A&R.
So how are you man getting these jobs? Is it this Ghana Mafia thing?
I'm Nigerian, so I've somehow managed to. Me and Dumi managed to.
I always hear the Ghana Mafia thing.
It's so funny that happens, because ultimately, even from that perspective, when I entered the industry, there was 4 black people. Like that I knew of.
Yeah. Must have not been many in that time.
So it's so funny how people talk about the industry now in terms of like how many black people, be it African, Caribbean, Nigerian, Ghanaian, like it's inspiring and energizing. But when I remember there's a guy called Jonathan Asamoah, like at Sony, Darkest and Glynne.
Yeah.
And I was at Jade Richardson as well. She's a lady that signed, big up Jade, she signed with Dynamite. And there's people I've learnt about, like a guy called Lincoln, who signed some of the most legendary kind of 80s, 90s black acts. Desiree, Jamiroquai, he signed as well. So there have been people in the music industry.
And on the radio side, you had Ray Paul, obviously, Wilberforce, do you know what I mean?
Wilberforce, my uncle used to hear, my uncle's bringing to talk about him. That's an old school name.
You know, so there was a few, but to Twin's point, like there wasn't many, you know, there weren't many at all.
When you man have got in there, it's kind of like transitioning from pop to kind of like starting to let the door open for urban music, innit?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, like in terms of like I said, at that time, not only were there not that many executives, there definitely weren't many black acts from where we were from who were able to build careers and have paths to allowing their talent to create careers. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I guess we've seen that like happen, and yeah, that's been mad. Because again, when I came through, like the most kind of like iconic act from our culture, So Solid. Miss Dynamite obviously got to give rates to Miss Dynamite, but then obviously, like I said, from my bit, when Dizzy started like doing what he was doing, amazing. Obviously, Page Go, Heartless Crew, like
Heartless, exactly.
But in terms of like, because I always got to be careful when I say this, because I said this before and I offended bare rappers, bruv.
What did you say?
I said about like a certain type of success happening for like black music, and
but
I said was the generation before.
And obviously.
Man, I can't really get offended off of that.
What did he say?
You know what? I'll never forget this. Yeah, I said in a magazine article that Tinchy Stride is one of the most important MCs in British culture for how he created an economy.
Yes,
and how created like an ability to take a journey into pop culture seamlessly.
What's wrong with that?
I got attacked by a certain generation of rappers. No, but you know what the angle was? That I was ignoring the foundations.
They always say that.
Yeah. And I was like, you can never ignore. I'm talking from Derek B all the way up to what has happened now. There are people that have all contributed to where black British MC culture is at. Do you know what I mean? But I think that something definitely in the last 15 years, that period of time, especially obviously watching it Wstrn when, you know, hits started to happen and artists were able to kind of change their lives off of the back of music. It was energizing and inspiring. Do you know what I mean? And for people like me who just love music and come from a certain space with it, like to actually see people who were from a certain space in how they approach music, choose to have commercial success. Choose, like, do you know what I mean? Wiley and Blessed Beats choose to make Wearing My Rolex and change the game. Like, they chose to. Wiley still went on pirate radio and on freestyles that year and smashed it. But at that point in time, they decided to make a song that became one of the biggest songs and created a certain path towards commercial success for MCs. Do you know what I mean? A choice. Do you know what I mean? I found that inspiring. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
What's a moment for both of you that you feel like, that changed everything?
You know what? Wearing My Rolex, man. I remember being in the One Extra playlist meeting, and up until that moment, there were hits that had come out of the black music space, the MC-driven black music space. Obviously, you had people like Jamelia, do you know what I mean? That was doing their thing. But Jamelia, Craig David, obviously, legendary guy. But in terms of like street culture, rap music, MC-driven music, grime music, etc., it was kind of dry. Do you know what I mean? I remember we used to celebrate
from a commercial point of view.
Dry commercially. That's a good
It's the most
distinction.
exciting genre we've ever had.
And
you know what I mean?
we used to celebrate when artists would go top 40. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember you had Craig David and Kano, This Is the Girl. Do you know what I mean? And it went top 40 and we all celebrated. Like, thinking that a record would go top 5 or top 10 was unthinkable back then. Do you get what I'm saying? And then we were in the One Extra playlist meeting. And, you know, for those who don't know, what happens in a radio playlist meeting is once a week you get together, you play a bunch of songs, and then you debate what songs are going to go on the playlist or whatever. And I can't remember if it was you or DJ Target, but one of you two at the very end of the meeting was like, I've got this song from Wiley. I'm not sure like what you guys are going to think about it. Play it. And then they put on the CD, because it was CDs back then. And it was just like, and we were just like, immediately, yo, like, what's this? And the beautiful thing, do you know what I mean? The beautiful thing about music, and especially like music from our culture, is when the energy hits, there's nothing like it. Do you get what I'm saying? So we heard it, we all went crazy for it. We obviously playlisted it, we supported it, but that was really the starter pistol for Dizzy to come with, was it not Bonkers? Dance With Me?
7 number ones.
Do you know what I mean? That was the starting pistol for Tiny Temper, Tinchy Strider, Chip, Wretch. Do you know what I mean? Pay As You Go. That whole genre that started with Wear My Rolex. Do you know what I mean? Skepta, obviously. And big up all of them people, because they're all still to this day now having hits. You've had Skepta just had a top 10. Big him up. Big up Chip, still repping the culture, still
even not
carrying
just
out of bars. Just everyone.
It's more like being able to kind of like, because the funny thing about that period of time, creatively, it wasn't easy at all, because ultimately, like, you had to, it seemed like you had to bend out of shape to be able to create a career. And a lot of people can look back at that period of time and certain clips come up online sometimes. True. And it's like, you don't understand, like, to be able to be heard, there weren't that many outlets. So sometimes creatively, you had to kind of make certain decisions.
And you man said it commercially. You had to
like,
have some sort of commercial value in it.
Yeah, but it also kind of gets critiqued a certain way without people understanding what the climate was to be able to navigate into having a career or to be heard. So it wasn't that easy. I feel like a lot of people had to swim to shore to be creatively free, if that makes any sense. Like, do you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
And some of the biggest hits in that space weren't chart hits. Do you get what I mean? Gigs Wearing My Rolex. Gigs Talking the Hardest. Was never in the charts. Do you get what I mean? That's the national anthem. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like,
bells at the time.
do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you look at the Hard Bodied mixtape, for example, or Hollow Meets Blade. Do you know what I mean? All the Blade Band mixtape, Young's Tef, all of these people, these are things that mixtapes and songs that people grew up on. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was during an era where it was Bluetooth, MP3, a little bit of MSN Messenger.
Uptown Records.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
Rhythm
it wasn't,
Division.
so it wasn't always tracked in the same way that, let's say, pop music was tracked, etc. But big up that whole generation, man, who really held it down during a really tough period of time. And in terms of the commercial music, I see it in a slightly different way, man. Like, we sort of accept from the place that we're from, that certain times you've got to do things, or some people choose to do things that they wouldn't necessarily be proud of to get the bag. And we accept that with no problem. Do you get what I'm saying? Musically, those artists were doing the same thing. The bag's over there. Doing it this way, I can't quite get to the bag the way that I want to. So you know what? I'm going to do it over there. Do you know what I mean? And whilst there are some records where you put the lens of Father Time over it and it looks a bit mad now, do you get what I'm saying? I think, you know, I look back at that time and I'm like, the reason why we've got Central C now and 100%. B Block Europe, do you know what I mean? And all of the artists that have the NEMS and all the artists that are just killing it right now, it comes from that period.
Yeah,
But again,
yeah.
just to not have the older lot get onto me, of course, there's a historic time that goes all the way back to the 70s and 80s. But do you get what I'm saying? That's more what I mean.
Why do you think music isn't connecting now the same as it was then? Why do you think it's not having that connection? Do you think it's a numbers thing? Like you mentioned DBE. I see I'd say yesterday I see a clip of it. Well, I saw the clip yesterday, I don't know what he said, saying that people need to focus more on making music that feels good rather than worrying about the numbers game. Do you think the numbers game is kind of messing things up now?
Yes, definitely. Because I feel like it's a weird way to kind of put it, but I guess ultimately, if you're a music fan, I always say that connection between a song, a show, an album, a mixtape, artist and fan, there's nothing more important than that. But ultimately, it's weird because I've done radio, so I can say this. It's podcasts, it's all the conversation around music that has made it a bit impure. Do you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, I feel like we've got to protect artists. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a sense, I think music's important. I think that these people represent the perspectives and places that we come from creatively. But what's happened in how they see themselves is there's a measure of a value that's attached to the success that other people have had, the success that's happened in the past, and the conversation is spun because we've all got to find content and things to talk about. I remember I was having a conversation with someone about this like earlier today, yeah. I remember when I was doing a breakfast show at 1 Extra, before the mic goes up at 7 o'clock, you got to find things to talk about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to find things that aren't necessarily about the music to be able to hold an audience. But what that does is take away the conversation about the music.
Yeah.
That conversation now has included numbers, tickets, all of these things. Sometimes when I see all the stuff that goes on online and the conversations that happen, I think if I'm an artist and I'm looking at that being the measure of if I'm good, I have a value, I can have a career in this, it's going to kind of like change how I approach going to the studio. I'm going to think about what success looks like.
Yeah.
And I think success now, again, when I was coming up, we spent money on even just trying to be a DJ. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit purer in that sense. And I feel like the measure of something being good was just about if people liked it. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that way it's evolved to now.
That was the good thing about an underground scene. But now, on a Sunday, people's numbers are just there to look at. Do you know what I mean? And the conversation gets spun away from if it's like actually touch people, or if a DJ can play it, or if the artist has done something experimental, or if they're going through a period of time where they're trying something. All of that goes out the window, and it's like, how many have they sold? And that's like, it's annoying.
Yeah, before people have even listened. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it affects the consumer as well. I think the consumer are judging a song off numbers before they've even listened to the song. You might love the song, it could be assumed for you, but you're looking and say, no one's really messing with that. I'm not even going to bother to listen to it. It's weird.
Yeah, like so I agree with everything that Twin just said. What I'd add to that is that numbers are important, and we've always used numbers to judge the performance of a song. Because when Twin was DJing back in college times and he pressed play on that vinyl, he'll see the people on the dance floor. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Half of the dance floor have left the dance floor. This record probably, do you know what I mean, ain't the one hitting. And then obviously everyone comes. So we've always used a level of data. And I do think...
Austin's a numbers man. Twin is a purist.
I'm both, do you know what I'm saying? But you get the point I'm saying. Like, Twin's rolling his eyes, do you know what I mean?
Twin's got to be on both. But I fully
get
where you're
the point I'm
coming
saying.
from.
And then also, see as humans as well, see as humans,
get it.
We need pointers
to know.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you go and you look at the movie box office, or you go and say, what's the best selling thing on selfridges.com or whatever.
It's like when they have the screenings before a film comes out and they get
the reviews and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So we've always needed that. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say exactly what you're saying and how you broke it down where Twins are purists and you're numbers, man. The numbers people, it needs to stay with the numbers people and the general public enjoy the music. Because now what is happening is people are reporting
are too involved in the numbers.
The public are too involved in the numbers. So now like you see like DJ academics will post up like, oh, so-and-so's album did 20,000. People are going to think, oh, that sells in the first week. People are going to think, oh, the album is shit. Yeah. Not even bother listening to it. But these times the album is wavy. So we judge the music off of the numbers when really we should just... That you used to do back in the day, go to the CD shop, buy the CD, play the CD and be like, rah, bro, you got this.
But I agree with all of that. But I also think that's only part of the problem in terms of why there's certain...
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Do you see what I'm saying? That's only part of the problem. There's obviously a lot more music out now than there was 10, 15 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more a microwave generation now.
Well, there's 200,000 songs being uploaded every day on streaming services. If I think back to when I first started in the industry, there would be maybe 15, 20 releases a week, maybe 100. Let's just say 100, because I don't know the exact amount. When I joined Spotify in 2016, it was something like 30,000 new releases a week were being uploaded. So that's already, and we worked out the maths at the time, and it basically was something like it would take the entire music team, of which there were 7 of us, working 24 hours a day with no rest, to be able to get through like a quarter of those songs. So that was 2016, 30,000, 35,000 songs being uploaded a week. There's now 200,000 plus a day being uploaded. Do you get what I'm saying? So every 5 days, a million songs.
So that's where the point about data is important, because ultimately there has to be some level of measure about what is worthy, what's worthy of perception. But it's difficult because I think one of the main reasons it's a problem is because the tastemakers have gone out the window. There's not necessarily a filter from those 200,000 songs to what lands in your life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You're almost exposed to it straight away. The moment you pick up your phone, I mean, there are to some degree in terms of if you're able, and this is where I guess if you're an artist and you want to kind of figure out how to navigate through that, you've got to figure out how and who gets what I'm doing in front of people quickly. If that makes any sense. And a lot of that, firstly, I always say it's got because it's amazing and people talk about it and they feel something when they hear it. Put that aside, there is the need to cut through that noise and be able to kind of like, how do I put it? I mean, this is again where DJs are valuable and people who really care about music are able to turn around and say, I'm going to spend the time, like Austin said, listening to this amount of music and I'm going to be able to tell you what I think is good. That's where specialists, that's what pirate radio and all the kind of worlds that culturally in the past were able to filter all of that music and give. It's why DJs are important to black culture in every space, from club culture to specialist radio, because they're the people that you trust their judgment on music. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's like I said, I felt like I was always that friend in school. It's like I'm blessed that it became my job to have some level of taste or judgment on something that's good or bad. But you know, there's sometimes where you turn to someone and you're almost like, if they're wearing something or if they're listening to something, you almost know it's good. If that makes any sense. And I feel like we're missing that in music in so many spaces at this point. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's weird. It's why we almost do have to rely on the data and the numbers more than we probably should. But it's spun around. That now has become the conversation. If that makes any sense. So
I hear it. But in a better time, before this, let's talk about Stormzy and roles that you played. Because to me, from what I know, you played a big part of putting Stormzy on the map as far as this. So can you tell me something about that, how that went?
See, what's funny, it's like, you see, there's no one more important to an artist's career than themselves.
Of course.
So one thing I
think it was you anyway. It might have been your brother still, because man just said it was. You know, you have to know. So just in case it was your brother, big up same way.
But you know, I say, like, do you know why Stormzy's successful? Because he's really good.
Yeah, 100%.
He's really good at the things that he does.
Yeah.
Like, he's an incredible performer, world-class performer. Yeah. Like, he's studio etiquette, being in the studio, and pulling the best bits of what's going on in the studio and pulling together and making a song is like a very rare art for any artist. And by God's grace, I've been in the room with some of the most incredible music makers in the world. And one thing I'll say about him, he's one of the best I've ever interacted with.
I believe it.
Yeah. In terms of pulling together a melody, a bar, an idea, and crafting it into a song, like, he's like, well, I've seen him do it. And I say that to say, Grammy winners, Pharrell's, I've been lucky enough to be in the studio and watch some of the best people in the world make music. And he's got an instinct in doing that. That's amazing. And also, when he's on a stage and he's switching into becoming a performer, I don't know that there are many better in the world. Again, I can't lie.
Yeah, he holds it down on the stage.
Yeah. So I think more than anything, being able to navigate and like pull together all the things that he wanted to be at a certain period of time was my only job. Because I think that ultimately, like, how I see my job, I'm of service to some form of art, and that comes in the form of artists, innit? Yeah. And met him years ago.
Yeah. What stage of his career was that when you?
the freestyles.
Yeah, the
and
start, I'd say.
Right,
The start of like
Listen,
when people
we
started
know
to...
Big Mike is incredible. Like we rate him high. That's one of my artists for UK. But at the same time, I'm not gonna downplay your role. So just say, I know you're humble with it.
It's more
but
like,
at
because you
what
know what it
stage?
is? A lot of people, like, you see like what an A&R is in the job. A lot of people have different opinions or perspectives on what it is. Like ultimately, in my humble opinion, A&R is finding or seeing something. You see like the finished product when you arrive at a show, when you pick up a CD, when you press play on the stream, like from an A&R perspective, an A&R can be an artist, a friend, like it's a skill that can be in so many different places, and obviously can also be a job. It's turning to some level the idea of something into a reality and helping it happen, like creatively, and obviously from an A&R perspective, it's music. See that guy, he loves songwriters. Obviously, was a cold MC, is a cold MC. He had, one of the first things I saw of his was like the All That Matters Justin Bieber cover he had online, as well as the freestyles. He was always singing and spitting. And then he just needed direction on who was gonna like get the best of who he could be out of him, producer-wise, writer-wise, and just confidence. And that was like how that played out, to be honest. Like, is that enough of an answer?
Yeah, so was that all before? That was all before, like.
Yeah, you know, we want a bit more in it, Doug. Yeah, go on.
No, was that all before Shut Up and stuff like that? Like,
just trying to get the time. Like Austin just said, it was from the really. You were part of the whole metamorphosis before, as he becomes a star. He was there before he went over.
Twin was there. So I sort of watched it from the sidelines. Do you know what I mean? Because I was working at One Extra them times, and I sort of saw Twin. Reach out, build the relationship, and at a point where people weren't sure, there was a few rappers at that point, there was a few MCs that people were looking at, and at the time they were all here. Do you get what I'm saying? They were all Europa League level.
Could you name some of the others at that time, just to give an idea of the time span? That will help.
Think like Potter Payper, Bugsy Malone. Do you get what I'm saying? This is 2014, 2015. Obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously, you went on to sign Potter Payper. Do you know what I mean? But Bugsy, obviously, we love.
Listen,
You've got a great ear.
Yeah, but again, see for me,
that's my artist there.
Yeah,
listen, he is one of the best MCs in the world.
100%.
Like,
in the world,
and it's funny. I do want to chat on Potter. I could talk a whole chapter on Potter. I do want to, but you know what's funny about Storms? From an MC perspective, the person that taught me about what he could be was Wretch, who was, and like God's grace, another MC I got to work with. You know what I'm saying? And more from a point of view of like, see how he approached making music was very similar to Wretch.
Okay.
In a sense of he felt and kind of approached songs from a space of how it felt and how he could express himself and how to pull melodies and lyrics together to create good songs. Like, and a lot of people didn't see that in him from the beginning, but that was how he wanted to approach being an artist from early. But obviously it's always been confusing with Storms, because ultimately, the biggest problem with Storms in that sense of how people perceive him, and like, he's just got too big.
Yeah.
He's just gotten too
You
big.
mean
So
like in terms of how he blew?
Like, and I feel like...
Do you mean sometimes, I find I don't know if it's with the culture or what, you become so successful, it's like you alienate people, you alienate yourself away. Like people I don't want to say turn on you, but it's like they feel like they can't relate to you as much. When really I look at him and I think he's the most relatable person there is.
Just like you blow, you get so big that everyone just like, my man's that man.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I can't stand that.
I say it from a point of view, because that's like, I think that comes with success and being that big. I can't lie. I think when you're that exposed, you just attract opinion.
Yeah.
Like, no one has ever...
Stormzy heavy though, bro.
Yeah, but like...
Streets do fuck with Stormzy heavy. There's
like,
always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be that.
And like, I've never had more opinion on anything in my life than that guy. As in the moment his name comes up, someone's got opinion. Positive, negative, do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean from the point of view of
sometimes
he become too big. Now I think like...
It's better than no one caring.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I say that from a perspective of what you were saying earlier about like the music and the artist. He just wanted to make 6 songs and be a sick artist. But he's become a cultural phenomenon. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah, 100%.
In that sense,
he went into the elite. He went into the elite bracket.
It is
in terms of,
a mad thing to watch and be part of in a lot of little ways. Like it's crazy. But ultimately, the person I met just wanted to make 6 songs. Honestly, I'm not even like, and it's funny because he is actually still the same person, but obviously,
That's
come along,
that's a sick
and he's very good at it. Like,
One of the coldest, bro.
I feel like you want to know more though. Like, I don't think I answered it.
No, you don't.
No.
You
Anything you want to add, you can. But no, I think you've
Bang on the
covered it
money.
still. I'm going to want to know more about Pot of Payper, but we'll get back to that. I want to get over to Austin now and talk about, you've been involved in some crazy campaigns because, you know, you were the Black President of...
President of Black Music.
President of Black Music, I should say. Not Black President, that's Obama. President of Black Music over there. Burna Boy campaign. I remember seeing that going on. Even KSI as well.
Yeah, man.
Some big
up KSI, man. Do you know what I mean?
big him up.
He doesn't get enough credit for what he's achieved. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when people talk about UK, I know that he's obviously been on the more of the pop side. Do you get what I'm saying? But when people talk about UK rappers and, do you know what I mean, UK artists, he's got 2 gold albums. Do you know what I mean? He's got billions of streams. I'm not going to count his pockets for him, but he's one of the most commercially successful artists across all genres. Forget, you know what I mean, black music. Just you write that list and it's like the names that you always see on the Sunday Times Rich list. He's there. You know what I mean? And we got to big him up for that, man. So yeah, big up KSI, big up Abs, big up Mam's management as well, man. The whole team.
Been mashing it.
Yeah, you've definitely been involved in those. What about the Burna Boy one? I remember seeing it was a while ago, like something great happened because you lot were celebrating. I remember seeing the video on that. Burna Boy is a powerhouse anyway. So you were involved in
so it's my job
in the UK side of things, or
exactly that, man. So my job is
he's
to
a global artist.
Yeah, exactly. I oversee the teams that put out these campaigns. Do you know what I mean? So you will have kind of A&R teams, marketing teams. It depends on who the artist is. Yeah, and he bought Burna to Atlantic. There's a lot of synergy between me and Twin. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm noticing.
Where was you at the time? Just so people know, where was you at the time when you was doing this?
So I was at Atlantic Records when we've had, obviously in the last 5 years, do you know what I mean? So the last 5 years worth of Burna Boy albums, campaigns, singles or whatever, I've overseen the team that have put that out. And I want to just give a big shout out to Leela Singh, Lils. In fact, she's from the ends, do you know what I'm saying, as well?
Pick her up every time.
Because she's been there from the very start since I've joined there, you know, in terms of Burna. She's run that campaign from start to finish. She's a marketing powerhouse. So yeah, big her up. But yeah, man, with Burna, we've had a lot of success, man. We've had, 2 top 5 albums. We've had a #1 album, by God's grace, amazing. We've had a bunch of hit singles, obviously. And at the point at which he reached the pinnacle of music, which is filling out a stadium. Do you know what I mean? The London Stadium, 60,000 tickets. You know, that was a campaign that I was involved in, man. Do you know what I mean? So I'm super, super gassed to be involved in that. Similar to what Twin said about Stormzy, it's all Burna. Do you know what I mean? I can't sit here and say I made any singular decision or I was involved in, or I'm the reason why something was successful. No, I oversaw the team that marketed and promoted and put out Burna's album, but Burna was huge way before I joined Atlantic. He had hits before I joined Atlantic. He would have hits, do you know what I mean, far into the future. But I'm happy that I was able to motivate the team during that period that we've had success. And he's obviously just put out another album just very recently, do you know what I'm saying? And that's also was a top 5 album, man. So yeah, we're super excited by that. But just generally, when it comes to working with artists, you see the ones who really want it. Like, no one wants it more than Burna. Do you know what I mean? Twin will say the same about Stormzy. Like, no one wants it more than
Burna cry. Not to like, but I say that from a perspective of wanting it that bad. Like,
I get it.
I mean,
hungry.
Hungry, man.
All the success,
you know,
there's still hungry.
Exactly. There's a video, maybe the video you're talking about is when I tell him that he's #1. Do you know what I mean? There's a video of us backstage.
That's what I saw.
You know what I mean? And there was we had this mad #1 race. No one knew until the Friday morning, do you know what I mean, that whether we were going to be #1 or not.
Who was you beefing with at
we
the
were
time?
Beefing. We were exactly the hops were it was you know what, I actually can't actually remember, but it was a pop artist. We were just #1, that's all I know.
You forgot these numbers.
You know. But basically I say to him, look, you know, it's been a hard fought battle, but we've got a little present for you. And I hand him the #1 trophy, and you know what I mean, he gives me like a big hug or whatever, and he's genuinely gassed because he had no idea. But what people didn't see was when the camera stopped rolling, he was like, I want to be number one for 6 weeks.
That's what we're talking about.
And I'm just there backstage, just deflated. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I thought we were going to get lit. He said he wants to be number one for 6 weeks.
You must respect that, though.
That's what I'm trying to say. Winners win. Winners win. Winners win. And no one wants it more than Burna, and that's why he's an international powerhouse, global megastar. Because he didn't rest on his laurels. He didn't even allow himself to celebrate for 15 seconds. As soon as the camera stopped rolling, he looked at me dead in the face and said, we need to be number one for 6 weeks. I want to break records. And you know what? That's the difference between him and whoever came number 2.
But you know what? I also say as well, you know, like,
whoever it was, I can't remember who it was, big you all up, man. It could be a lady friend. I'm so sorry.
And so, you know what? Like you picked up the team, the importance of a team as well. And this isn't even me just jumping in, because that look and like drive to success, his mum, big up both sides.
Yeah, man. And Ronnie.
And Ronnie.
Yeah, man.
And Uncle T. Like a force of nature. And I think that's another part of like, especially being on the side of the industry that we sit, is like the importance of a good team, man. It's like, it's the be all and end all sometimes. Absolutely. From a point of view of like, we can all talk about great music and great artists and people that we connect with and love and whatnot, If that person isn't surrounded by people who know how to navigate that into people's lives properly, especially now, like you said, if there are 200,000 songs coming out, why is someone going to pay attention to yours? I prefer that the artist focuses on, like, just because they're important and all of that, they focus on, you know, being able to just make that as great as possible. And you can't escape, you've got to use social media and be savvy as an artist in this climate as well. I think it's a shame, but post that, lawyer, manager, the people that you're around, the people you choose to kind of like share energy with.
Security.
Like honestly, the most basic things as an artist, it's like, it's so important. It's so important. But like on all levels, I
want to ask you something kind of ties into that. As you lot both certain artists, right? Couple of things. It's a two-part question. So for one, a lot of these artists you sign, not necessarily you, but a lot of artists that get signed, they come from certain environments. They might have certain street politics going on around them. We see it happen now. We see some of our biggest artists end up going in and out of jail or in situations. When you're signing or looking at artists, do you take that into consideration, what's going on? And also,
so much to say on that.
And also, what steps do you think should be put in place to try to keep them free or to try and better their situation? Or you know where I'm going with it, because you both have greater knowledge than others of how it can go. What would you say on that?
I'll let you do it. I'll start. So I would say, to answer the question, yes, we take it into consideration. It's part of the conversations that we and I sometimes directly will have with artists. And, you know, when you're about to get into business with an artist, it could potentially be long-term, right? It could be a 5, 10, 15, 20-year relationship. So you want to try and get to know them a bit. Do you get what I'm saying? And if there are any, let's say, signals during that courting period, do you get what I'm saying? That there might be some problems, then I'll try and sit down and have a deeper conversation with them. There's not one single artist who comes from, and these aren't always young black boys, by the way, do you know what I mean? You might have someone with addiction issues that comes from the north of England, but like anytime I sense that in someone, I always try and sit down with them and have conversations. And it is a problem at the start, but I find it's usually more of a problem once they've had a bit of success.
The money,
because the money magnifies problems in certain situations. So whilst I can't really come on camera and talk about particular situations, what I would say is to any artist who's watching this, as soon as you can afford to, move out of the ends, move your family out of the ends. Security, depending on how much you're making, is not that expensive. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not as expensive as you'd think.
Exactly. You don't have to have security 24 hours a day, but maybe you can afford 2 days a week. Maybe it's when you're going to events and stuff. For any artist who's making more than a few £1,000s a week, let's say, to not have security, it's just asking for, I don't understand the logic behind that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would just say, man, that, you know, I want every artist to succeed, man. And anyone watching this, man, I'd love them to invest in security the same way that they invest in fashion, whips, chains, whatever, man. You've got to invest in security, man. We've seen it happen too many times now. That's what I'd say.
It's a cost of living crisis out there, isn't it? And I feel like obviously there's a certain side of our culture in which when we become successful, it's important sometimes to show it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of times to inspire, I get it. But at the same time, you marry that with street politics, history, certain situations. Like Austin said, I can't speak specifically on things, but like the moment you get into relationship with certain artists, because a lot of people, I see this a lot of times where there's a lot of criticism about how I'm definitely not here to defend the industry. That's like putting a tap on like a cracked well.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? All I can do from a point of view of having a working relationship with someone is come at it with care and integrity. Do you know what I'm saying? And like try and figure out very quickly. There's artists I work with who have been in certain things with certain artists. I'll never forget there's one artist there's a very kind of famous like East London beef that was happening at a certain time. I remember getting a call from a good friend of mine because a lot of what happens in the industry as well is about having relationships in the background where people will take your calls and understand that like you're coming from a perspective where you respect the culture enough to be contactable and care. And I say this to say, I remember 2 a.m. one time, 2 artists that were very famously beefing, one being someone I was lucky enough to work with, who was one of the coldest artists and underrated, was landing in Norway at a time when another artist was in the airport. And I got a call from another person who's very culturally connected and said, yo, let's keep talking because in a couple of hours this could go mad. So let's just keep being aware of what's going on, who's with him, who's with, do you know what I mean? So ultimately when you are interacting with artists from our culture, you have to just be aware on a human level, because I always say before I'm a label president or whatever it is, we're human beings, isn't it?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I always say that to the artists I work with as well. You're a human being. And I say that from a point of view of ultimately be responsible, be smart and make good decisions. Do you know what I mean? For yourself, not just for other people so we don't get affected, but ultimately so you can be the best version of yourself and have the career or talent.
100%.
Someone could be super talented, but like Austin said, they've got a load of human issues. We all know people with human issues, but it's funny when people approach the music industry and they expect someone's human issues, once they've put pen to paper, to disappear and be protected by someone who's just doing a job.
Yeah, facts.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and ultimately, they're not even bad at their job by not necessarily, how do I put it, like being all things to that person. It's about like the people who are around the artist taking as much responsibility as possible. Good managers, good lawyers,
I agree.
understanding who is around the artist. Because sometimes there's beefs artists have had that I only found out after the fact. Do you know what I'm saying? And what could I have done? I've literally been in a situation where some of your favorite MCs have had like their teeth kicked out from beef that I wasn't even, like, it all hit me at the time when it's happened. I was just like, man, like,
I was getting a phone call.
like, and it's like
MC Gappy with the T kicked out.
Mate,
still,
like, no, but it's real, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? It's very real. Like,
it's very real. Like what you lot said is basically what we said the other week. Literally the exact same thing. I was like, you're gonna have to invest in some security. You're gonna have to maybe listen to have other people around you apart from your young friends that are just on what you're on. Maybe advisors. That's why I just asked what you lot's stance was, and I'm glad that you kind of.
Just care. Just care. You got to care. Like,
have to care
and be available, like when and where you can. Do you get what I mean? Because ultimately, sometimes the way people describe certain industry situations, they think someone signed a deal and Superman appears. It's like, yo, it doesn't change someone's life or situation or where they're at or who doesn't. Sometimes it makes it worse because ultimately it's just like spotlight is on that person. And we know how crafty it can be in kind of certain cultures and worlds. Like, and it's very difficult to manage. So it's like, to be honest, it's why it's about really working with sharp, intelligent people as well.
100. Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I was just gonna say quickly, see, like, even for you, like, for the young youths that are watching as well, does it make a difference when you let's say you get with an artist and they are in dramas? There's that kind of that.
It depends. I know what you're gonna say. It depends.
Man, are getting signed in jail, though.
I know when I get signed in jail. Remember, this is the CEO's favorite CEO.
Me personally, and this is why it's important to have people from whatever the culture is be in charge of the culture.
Because I want to phone someone to ask the same question.
Yeah, because it's like if you wrote down my kind of behavior from the age of 12, 13 through to 18, 19, on paper, it's someone who should have ended up dead or in jail. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Being arrested, getting in trouble at school, being excluded from school. Do you get what I'm saying? And someone giving me an opportunity, big up the people that employ me at the BBC and Laura, I was able to turn my life around. Do you know what I mean? Not many people realize that I was at the point at which I started at the BBC, I was having to take days off work to go and answer police bell. Do you get what I mean? I was almost like I was living like a weird double life. So what I would say is, for me, it's all about the person's mindset. We partner with artists all the time that have difficult backgrounds. But where's your head at now? Do you get what I'm saying? If you're leaving me to go and bust some shots, maybe that's not a relationship that we both want to get into.
And again, like, not to bring this back to what the job is. Like, for me, I've worked with some like huge pop stars, and I don't see a difference between a song Potter made and a song Jess Glynne made.
Definitely.
So ultimately, in terms of like the goal, I always say to artists like that I work with or blessed enough to work with, the goal is to make amazing music. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because ultimately, like, our favorite artists have made incredible music, be it rappers, but like, they made great music. That's what's changed their life. So ultimately, it's about focusing on that. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
And like allowing that to be what you're here to do. So sometimes, even when there is a load of drama and there's stuff going on, it's annoying because it's distracting. And it's not your gift. It's not why God put you on this earth. To me, God put Potter on this earth to rap because that guy's cold. God put Burna on this to perform. Stormzy, like they're here for a purpose. You can see it. So it's you got to get a bit deeper when you've got the relationship, so that you can almost, at times when it becomes difficult, you just refocus the human, like, on their purpose. Like, you know, I was gonna call. I'm gonna call.
Who you gonna call?
Like, I could call. I got to big up people like Joe Gossar, Benny Scars, like there's loads
Colin
of people.
Batsar.
I'm gonna phone Colin.
Yeah, big up
Because,
Colin.
listen,
phone Colin.
I'm gonna phone Colin.
FaceTime.
You know, I wanted to mention.
I know the phone book's heavy. I know the phone book is
I'm gonna
strong.
phone Colin.
Phone Colin.
And it's funny because even obviously we've evolved from a culture. There's people, again, even some of the biggest artists in the world we've been able to kind of interact with around their drama and that sort of it's not just a black British thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And also, to be honest,
Definitely.
like the beautiful thing about artists is that, like, they exist to almost share their pain.
Bro,
So
look at Amy Winehouse's issue.
Bro, like,
Perfect.
you know what I'm saying? Like, she said love is a losing game.
Issues are different.
I think that's like,
human.
artists share their pain with us, innit? So there is a duty of care.
Colin,
Like,
though. Let's get Colin on the
let's
phone.
get Colin involved.
Let's see if you
Let's
answer.
see if he
I told
answers.
you. No.
Oh, you told him?
Kind of.
Kind of. Let's see if he
Kind of, because you should ask the same question.
He's killing the
That's
right
my dog,
person
'cause again-
too, because he signs all the man them in the
Yeah,
what.
but again, someone that a lot of people don't really understand their journey from a point of like,
From his journey's been a journey of
yeah,
himself.
20 years,
Yeah,
like,
definitely, man.
oh, hey,
Colin.
Hey,
Yes.
big him up.
man, like, see,
You're live.
You're live. Big boss Colin, you know.
Yo, big
Alright,
up.
I'm gonna get straight and like direct a question to
Ask
you
him
that I
the
was
question.
asked, yeah? So, how do you navigate, because we've had conversations for hours about this actually, because I don't even know where you're gonna go with this, but ultimately, like, how do you navigate situations with artists that have got ultimately street drama or stuff going on in their life? How do you navigate that?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, understanding, innit? Just trying to give them a safe environment, you know, like to be themselves, but also like ways to protect them, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And trying, I don't know, you got to show them a better way. Because they're not about that really, but that's probably like the hardest questions anyone's ever asked me.
Yeah. But from you lot's point of view, it's trying to show them something different, innit?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose, innit?
Protection's a sick word though.
Do you know what I think as
Protection's a sick
well?
word.
If you can hear me, do you know what I think as well? I think you're already doing a big part of it because you're giving them the opportunity.
On the platform.
Opportunity is a big thing, you know. You understand? Like, even for someone to give you that moment, that chance.
Yeah, 100.
Like, but you lot giving them a chance, that's a big step in the right direction because chances are limited in the environments we come from.
Facts.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to you, Uncle Colin. Carry on, bro.
That's it really, man. But exactly what you said, you just got to give them like an opportunity, a chance. But I said it's like protection and understanding. That's the key. You know what I mean?
All right, I hear
That's the
it.
key, man. That's the key. Because, as you know, some of the baddest gags are the nicest guys, isn't it?
Tell us again, Colin. Tell us.
Yeah.
But it's like a circumstance why they do certain things or certain things happen. So that understanding and protection, just being so alert, like who's in the room, where they need to be, where they can't go. You know what I mean?
Colin, like man asked the guys, do you take that into consideration with the artists that you work with their street politics or their drama?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense of I know what I'm signing up for, but no, because the whole point of EGA was to support artists like that.
Yeah, and I respect Colin's honesty because Colin played me Mazza early.
Yeah,
Colin played me Mazza early. Colin. But that's why I say it's an opportunity. It's opportunity, giving opportunities.
Yeah, it's like I know what I signed up, but I do feel that there needs to be a label that doesn't discriminate against that. So yeah, I do take into account, and I do sometimes like I still make certain decisions, but I also want every person in that environment to feel like there's one place that won't judge them.
Basically,
Colin starting a label.
You don't want people dancing in your video.
I'm glad you said it.
I'm with it. Come on, man.
I'm with it, Colin.
Like, this guy's a mad about it.
No, but it's important.
Like that.
It's important because you know what? You don't want that to kind of like. You don't want those dramas to be in the way of great music being in people's lives and people having the careers they deserve, innit? That's the frustrating thing, because I think we've all worked with artists where you think, oh man, I wish this drama didn't exist just so you could just crack on.
With them.
Just crack on, do you get what I mean? And sometimes, again, it's not even just about the situation.
But do you know the wickedest thing? The music might not be the same without the drama.
Yeah.
It's the pain.
Yeah, 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
100%. No, that's very, 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 very
Unfortunately,
true.
that's part of what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%.
Greatest
So
music.
it's
And also like 9 times out of 10, you see like 9 times out of 10, it's not them.
Yeah.
It's the ones around them.
Yeah, real talk.
It's not even them, you know what I mean? But they're not even, it's just people around them that they have to represent, or they got to stand next to them if they're guys, but it's not really them if you check it.
Yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah, real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Colin, man, big yourself up, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really
Colin,
respect everything that
wait,
you've done.
before you go, Colin, shout out you and big up what you're doing over there, man. Come on, man.
Thank you.
Colin, do you want to talk about? Are you going to talk about the new venture that you've started, or are you going to save that for another time?
You know what? Like I love the Winners podcast, but that's going to cost some money, man.
All good.
All right. Now, we got Colin. Bless, bro.
Love my bro.
Yeah.
Big up Colin, man.
Wicked, man.
That's
We
funny.
got Colin.
That's what I'm saying. It's the journeys though, because I knew Colin from Channel U times and all of that. It's a long time, bro. Like, this is again goes back to what I said at the beginning about relationships, because I couldn't chop it up with these men how I'd get to if I'd moved funny at that point. You can burn bridges. That's for what now people watching need to know that as well. Like if you're an artist or if you're trying to do things, there's ways of making things happen and building relationships.
100%.
You're not always going to get your way. It's not always going to go perfect. But if your name's good,
Yeah.
etc.
Exactly, yeah,
But
definitely.
People will remember you.
What
You
are we
see it?
saying about the way the game's moved now with blog pages being so prevalent, streamers, podcasts, all of that now? How are you lot feeling about it and integrating into it, and how much say they have, how much sway they have?
Yeah, I love it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love it when new economies pop up. Do you know what I'm saying? And big up all of the streamers, all of the sort of journalists of the culture. I know that they're maybe not accredited journalists, but I'm going to call them journalists. Big up Bouncer.
Yeah, Bouncer was singing your praises.
big up Bouncer.
And he's made a big inroad into this thing.
Definitely, man. Big up Tanks. Big up the
Walks.
Yeah,
That's my guy.
exactly. Sam Ham, Tyreek, Tyrone. Is it Tyrone? Yeah,
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
big up Els the Witch. Do you know what I mean? Long relationship with her.
You get L as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Big up Els. Big Moolah Juice. Do you know what I mean? There's so many of them
big up
that are documenting things. And then obviously big up Made You Think.
And big up Mimi, the music
Big
blogger
up
as well.
RTM, obviously. I know that's, do you know what I mean? But, you know, big up, you know what I mean? Big up,
platform is the platform.
yeah, exactly.
Important.
Yeah, exactly. Big up, big up RTM.
I'll say this here publicly, bro. Like he's created a platform that is it's just known everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we've created a platform. So, and he's been in the game like I've been in the game like for a minute, and he's still relevant. So there's no, you can
And
big
I
that
second
man
that
now.
because someone said something to me the other day and I was like, but it's not that, you know.
If you take away the smoke and mirrors and everything else, he respects what we do.
Yeah.
He even said it the other day. Someone sent me a clip. He said like to big me up and what, because he knows.
And consistency to a craft. And
Yeah,
getting,
like-
you know what it
yeah,
takes to
yeah,
do
yeah,
something.
I know what it takes to do
Yeah,
what
you know
he
it
does.
takes
Just,
to-
someone was talking to me about when he was talking about his co-hosts and people getting paid and that, and what he said, what his words were about the platform he's built. So you being on the platform is respectfully me busting you in a sense. And I said, I fuck with
Yeah,
what you said.
definitely, man.
I get
You know what I
that.
mean?
Like,
And the
he's
thing
built
with-
something that when you're on it, it's for you to benefit from that.
Big up RTM. And then who else, man? Of course, all the others, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's wicked that we've got a streaming economy now.
Yeah.
That we've got these content creators that are doing their thing. The only thing I would say to that generation is be careful with what you're reporting and when you're reporting it. If you look at the BBC,
What we said, people need to fact check more. Sometimes.
a little bit more, exactly.
But carry on what you're gonna say.
Exactly that. So the
I've got something to add to that as well.
BBC, the BBC do fact checking. Yeah, so the BBC will. This is back in the day. It might have changed now. They have to have 3 solid sources before they report on something.
Yeah, I think that's with most.
Do you get what I'm saying? So if
Three
one
sounds like a
person,
small number, but that's a big number.
yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, if there's a bombshell video or audio recording, of course, then that might be enough by itself.
Yeah.
But see if something is just like out there. That's why sometimes the BBC might seem late to certain things because it's not that they're late. They've got the same information, but they're not going to put it out there unless they've got some level of more
And I think
information or
the
evidence.
important thing
So
about
it's
that is to
important.
protect yourself and your craft, because I feel like when things emerge, the kind of marathon is about being trusted at the end of the marathon or a bit further down. Do you know what I mean? Because it's loud now and there are loads of options in terms of information. In terms of time, people are going to choose who they trust.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying? And people are going to choose who almost take the time to make sure that
What I'd say
it's
is
said
that-
properly, it's communicated
That's
well.
what,
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
we
saying?
do.
So
That's what we deal with here.
a big part of that as well.
I'm
Like,
glad
it's
you
hard.
said that because I wouldn't have been able to put into words what we do here. But we don't speak on a lot of things
Yeah.
because if it's not proven, done, dusted, wrapped up in a bow, or even to be honest with you, a lot of times I just won't speak on things because I know how difficult it is for the man them to get a step up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even want to be part of the
real
pull back
shit.
down.
Yeah.
And everyone has to do their thing in their own individual way.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it's necessary, I'll lean into little things or whatever. But in the general over, I don't think that you should really speak on unless you.
No, but you know what it
and
is?
got your shit right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but I'd say it doesn't mean that you can't report on bad things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If someone
If
is
that's your- if
misbehaved,
that's your- if that's your-
exactly. If someone
that's
is
your role.
misbehaved or
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
been something and it's been proven in X, Y, and Z, then
Proven.
by all means, have a discussion about
Yeah.
it. Do you get
What
what
do you
I'm
think about
saying?
the Fredo then while you're there?
You know what? To be honest with you, I've been
Aside from, let's not get into any. Let me ask you to rephrase that question. What do you think about Fredo's last couple of weeks as far as promotional wise? Has it benefited him as the CEO? Can you see the benefits of some of it? Not all, not the salacious stuff, but some of it. Can you see the benefits, even of the salacious stuff? Is that beneficial or is it to his detriment as far as promoting a product? I'll ask both of you this.
You know what I will say? He says something that I heard so loud in how I interact with artists sometimes. That's like a really frustrating thing. He said, like, I'm a human being, this is my life.
I fucking
And see-
that rang
see
bells.
that
My-
bit?
My son was watching it and that rang
but
bells.
it was something along those lines. That made me think,
That's
you know
literally
what?
what he said.
There is like do you know what it is? Like, I feel like we've got to protect artists sometimes as a whole. Like, not even, it's worth speaking specifically on the Fred thing, yeah. But you know what I do think becomes a bit reckless sometimes is then when we're not thinking about that bit. Because you know what it is? There's certain times where you interact with artists, yeah. There are people we've lost to the game because they can't be bothered with the noise. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Like, and, like, so there's some level of like, you know, like even there's economies around huge artists, and there are teams around them that know a lot of things, good and bad.
Yes.
And because there's a bigger goal to their existence, there are conversations that I had around things that are like, yo, you know what? I remember I was in LA one time with this artist and I'm new to all of this music thing, right? And they've come outside and they're speaking to a pap, but they're talking about where and when they can interact with the artist. Right now ain't the time. There's a time when there'll be value in the pictures that you take. In fact, we're going to this place with this person first. I'm telling you. So they manage the information on a level of like protection. And now, like, it's people's lives and it's street, like, I don't know where or how it gets policed, but there's some level of protection that people need to be able to.
I feel like
Do you know what I mean? I don't know how that happens, but like, when he said this is my life, I thought, yeah, I've heard that in so many ways from artists where you just think, oh, this is mad. Like, we can all be entertained.
Bro, that's what
I'll make a point because you lot will understand this. You see, when you're around artists, like obviously that man's always around DB because they're my people, whatever. Like, and even meeting artists in that being in that world, everyone's a normal person.
That's what I want.
And I feel like that's where the disconnect is, because I feel like people report on things as looking at people as, right, that's my man. But in the world, when you butt people and we go shows or we go to events,
bro,
and you butt people, they're just normal people.
Bro, the thing I was going to say,
that's the problem with it.
What I was going to say, and you've said it so many times, you said it like maybe 20 times during the course of this podcast, and I say it all the time, and that's why what I was trying to say before, you kind of brought me back to it with what you said about Fred. I always deal with things on a human level, bro. So when I said about not pulling them down on this, is because I always go past the superstar. I think someone is sitting in their house right now, and it's there. It's like you said, this is my life. Like my son was listening to the live, and I was kind of just standing like listening to. He had it on his phone, and that line there, it hit me because I understood what he's on, bro. This is my life, bro. This, I say this thing. I don't know where I got it from some song or something. It's like it's their life, but it's other people's. It's entertainment to everyone else, but it's someone's life, bro. So that's why I don't deal with certain things as far as you can talk on it, but I always humanize things. I always think of the guy that's sitting at home or the girl that's sitting at home. You get it?
And my
unless they're convicted.
My thing, what I'll say with this whole thing, I get it. Like the tanks thing, what Bouncer and them man are doing, and I get it. And like you got Trap Lil Ross and all these people, but from the world that man's come from, and we all grew up and what we done, and we've all grown up and to go on to do things and whatever. But the world I come from, like, I just can't fuck with the whole man chatting on certain things from a place where these people come from the same world as you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, in the sense that, you've all evolved and you've moved and you've gone on to certain things and whatever, but long and short, they're from the same place as you, bro. Do you get me?
Yeah,
and
I hear you.
People may not agree with me or not, but I just think that, bro, just understand what you're saying and what you're doing and where you're saying it and what's going on. But these people are from the same place you are. And if you're reporting on certain things, because of the way that the UK is set up different from America, it's too close to home. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think that's where man needs to be a bit more aware of what they're saying and when they're saying it, because
you know what,
it's different.
It's a go on. No, I hear where you're coming from 100%, because you know I wouldn't, whatever. But I think it's either one of us do it or someone that's meant to be of our ilk, or you're leaving it to Trap Lil Ross that's just going to be saying that
leave it to them, man, because them man can get away with saying it with not being caught up in any drama. Because I also feel that where it gets a bit techie is because brothers are going to look at man and saying, bro, why are you throwing me under the bus?
100%.
Do you get me? Like,
we do that quicker to us. We do that to each other.
Can do that. Someone like Trap Lil Ross, they can do that. They're reporting or journalism in that sense. But if I was now to start using my setup at home to start talking about street politics and my man and this man and those same people, when they see me, are going to be like, Doug, what you on?
So what you mean in Bouncer setup? Bouncer doing?
No, but listen, Bouncer can do what he's doing because I've been watching his thing and I've subscribed and I watch it. But then I feel like there's certain levels, and I'll say it as it is, I feel like there's certain things that man's reporting on and talking on. For me, I feel like, no, you can't really go there because you're from that world. No matter how much you've changed and you moved on, you come from the understanding where we come from. Do you get what I'm saying? And yes, certain information is out there to be spoken about and you can do your research and dig. And if it stays like research and dig and looking on the net and getting the information up, well and good. But if you're talking on conversations that's been had, like let's say I ring you and I tell you something and then you go on your thing and talk about it, that's where That's
I
lines
think,
across,
I mean,
you get me?
big up Bouncer. I love what
big
he's
up Bouncer's
doing.
my
I think
people,
he's,
man.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Big him up all day long. I think my point that kind of relates to that, but isn't about Bouncer, but relates to that is just, if you've got credible sources and it's your job to report, then report.
That's my
like I said, it doesn't always have to be good. It can be negative. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
I
It can
agree.
be about
I
something.
agree.
It can be something that's going to be a bit distasteful for the recipient to hear about.
Yeah.
I just think just research. That's all I would say to the whole generation.
Agreed.
Not
Everyone.
Bouncer.
Agreed.
Big up Bouncer.
You know why?
All of it.
And to be real, Bouncer my people. So
once
like,
you say
I
it,
can say what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, that's
calling
it,
and
of
talking,
course.
I'm
No,
saying
no,
what
that's
I'm
good.
saying.
But
So it's not directly at him, but I'm just saying in general.
Because what it is, the power of the word now, it moves quick. So I understand what you're saying, it moves quick. You can say one thing and it's not the right thing and it becomes gospel.
Yeah,
That's how the
there's a
internet
saying
is.
that's a lie travels around the world twice before the truth puts its shoes on.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying? All I've seen is the 30-second clips and screenshots that have just come on my timeline. I've not done any sort of deep research into it or anything like that. So it'd be unfair for me to be like, this is my opinion on it. It just looks and feels like a messy situation all the way around. But they're real life people. I'm seeing like mothers of children and kids and stuff being put online. At that point, you see, there's a certain etiquette, that sort of exists in all industries, So see with let's say the label presidents, the VPs, there's an unwritten rule, kind of, we're never going to trash each other's releases publicly. You're never going to hear Twin or one of Twin's peers at Universal trash Warner or trash Sony publicly and vice versa. There's an unwritten classy etiquette in how you should move about certain things.
But that's what we live by. I get it.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So that's
you made perfect
there's an
sense.
etiquette around it. So what I would say is that amongst the streaming and content creator community, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, because it's new, it's the Wild West right now.
It's a shootout.
Yeah, but guns at dawn. But it's like an etiquette will form.
You think
and
so?
then, of course, because people are new to this. And I think over a period of time, what's going to happen?
Will happen that will shape it.
Yeah, exactly. Over a period of time, people will realize, all right, you know what? I probably don't need to put that person's child's picture up online. I don't need to put that person's baby mum's online, etc.
Stuff will happen.
Bro, do you know how bad it is to me? Yeah, and this is just me as an individual. I'm aware that this has all happened, but because of how I think and how I am, I've not looked at any of that stuff. That's why when you're talking about it, I'm not fully getting it because it's like I hear and I kind of hear the kids and this, and I won't look because it's like, what? I can't even put myself in that position to think.
I'm not got fully into it, but I've seen enough and heard enough to make my own judgment and make my own opinion on it, and I stand on everything.
No, but you're just like anyone else to see.
I stand on
you haven't said
everything I say
anything
in
wrong.
this show.
I'm just saying, I just didn't see it because
yeah.
I think I didn't want to see it. If that makes sense, I didn't want to see it because I just didn't want to see it. But I get what you're saying totally. But let's move on from that.
But
sorry, can I
unfortunately,
say
go on.
No comment is a cold song.
Yeah,
Crazy, crazy. But Fred's a cold artist.
It's cold.
I rate. Listen, if everyone could get on it, would be fucking wonderful. Because I rate artists across. Rate artists from this side and that side and this, and unfortunately, it's the way of the world. But no, he's one of the coldest artists, bro. Cold.
I rate Fred, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on from that. But we spoke bloggers. Made you think recently he's got a barbershop kind of podcast thing going. He said the black executives have not been very helpful to him over the years. It was almost like he felt that they didn't want him to climb past a certain level, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you heard.
I saw it.
You did see it. So you know as much about it as
You sent it to me.
Yeah. I said it to Twin.
said it to each other.
What's guy talking about that, Blake? I think that made you think, man. Do you know what I mean?
That's my guy.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
So while I've got you both in front of me now, I'm not saying it's you guys because listen, I know what you and I know things that you two have done
100
to forward the culture. I can name people numerous from Spotify to to Atlantic, and I can name numerous with yourself. So I'm not pinpointing you. I'm saying there's obviously numerous. Well, not that many, but there's a good few black executives. How did you feel about what he said? Do you agree with what he said?
So, first of all, big up Made You Think, big up everything that he's doing. Obviously, I've been a supporter for years.
Come on.
I believe that was a bit misguided, but that was his own experience. Do you get what I mean? And what I'm learning is that people's experience is their experience.
Right.
So his experience is that. By the way, I can get 10 people to come on his show or go into that barbershop and they'll have a different experience. So what we've got to try and understand is, all right, you know what? How is there more that we could have done? For him to feel that way, there must be some valid reasons. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm probably going to try and sit down with him at some point and work out.
I'm going to say something.
Yeah, I've met him once. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. He's a good
very
guy.
smart,
And
very smart.
everything that he's done has been incredible. Me and him have never done business together directly before, but there's been some indirect conversations that have happened, etc. I didn't take it as a diss to me because what I've done for the culture is beyond.
Now, when you know
beyond,
yourself,
yeah, I mean, you
yourself,
can't even exactly. So it's not. I don't take it.
You know what? She ain't talking about me.
Do you know? But at the same time, I didn't know everyone in the barbershop. Do you get what I'm saying? But I thought to myself at one point, this is starting to feel like maybe they're saying that no one in there, because it was like the black execs haven't supported us as much as the white executives. It was words to that effect. Do you get what I'm saying? And I thought that was the bit that was maybe a bit misguided, because every single black executive that I know, from Zion to Dummy to Colin to Glynne to Ricky to Twin, his brother.
Shout out Ricky Blue.
Do you know what I'm saying? It was Ricky that put me onto Stormzy, by the way, back in 2014, 15.
Yeah,
so
let it be
big up
known.
Ricky.
Good guy.
When I think of all of these black executives here, all they do is wake up every morning and say, how can I support the culture? That's all they do. They wake up and that's all they're thinking of. So I felt that comment was a little bit unfair, but it was obviously based from a real experience. Do you get what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't take it as a diss, but I would love to sit down with him. And obviously I've got his number. I'll call him probably after the show and be like, let's sit down. Let's work out a way to have certain conversations. And Spiller, big up Spiller. Big up Spiller, because Spiller reached out to me. Spiller reached out to me because I commented on, I got into my comment bag, I commented on one of the videos. And the point I was making, and it's important I say this, is that you wouldn't, if I showed you my phone here, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that ask me for help every single day. Do you get what I'm saying?
Now you're certified, man.
I can only help a certain amount of people.
You know.
Exactly.
You're
Do you get what I'm saying?
Also,
that's it.
I think an important point as well is like, people have got to know exactly what they need and they're asking for from someone as well. Before. You know what I mean?
True.
Because it's weird. There's so many times, even recently, like, and it's so funny because obviously this conversation and locking this in was on before all of that was happening, innit? Like, this is supposed to be happening from time.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, so it was so funny when we were chatting on that.
Yeah,
'cause it's
exactly.
Like sometimes people have a perception of the industry and people's spaces that ain't even right. So we're asking them for ain't even the right thing.
Yes.
It's like going to a milkman and asking for like orange juice. Do you know what I mean? So ultimately you've kind of got to understand, like, it feels like shining lights, and ultimately there are responsibilities that people have professionally in it that they're handling day to day. And also some people are living in their purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes they're so focused on that it's like, it's very consuming on a life run. Do you know what I mean? To be able to be available for someone's needs. And sometimes, like, I've experienced it myself where you've almost met people at a point in your journey, you understood why the timing was right then, and it wasn't necessarily about interacting a certain way at that point in time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, fully. Because deep it, the timing weren't right for us to have a conversation.
Exactly that.
But I've always known that. I always be in there and be like, you know, well, maybe I did all of that so that I can do this now. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Nothing comes through the door here now. So but it's sometimes, like you said, it's someone's own experience, their own feelings about something.
Yeah.
And maybe when you have a conversation, greater understanding will be achieved. But it doesn't all fall on you or fall on to Twin. Like when AP's speaking, I'm sure he's speaking on a greater spectrum, or he could have someone in mind or whatever. So, but I get it. You feel like do you feel there's a pressure on you guys to a certain degree as these guys that have accomplished a certain level and are at the forefront? Do you feel that kind of pressure? Because look now, I've said that to you, and both of you, more so you've kind of straight away like put your stats up and explained and said, listen, I do this, I do that, I do this. Do you feel there's a pressure of that, of like, you look what you've done, you're not helping? Do you feel that kind of pressure?
You know, when you're a leader, there's always pressure. Do you know what I mean? And I've been fortunate/unfortunate enough to be a leader for a long time now. So when you're a leader, you in some ways can make decisions that can influence people's lives. And by the way, you know, I'm an employee. Do you know what I mean? So I've got someone above me who can make a decision that can influence my life.
As well.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, even though I've got to near the top of the tree and, you know, I get sort of paid well for it in X, Y, and Z, that doesn't mean that I'm not just a worker at the end of the day. So what I would say is that I don't really feel the pressure, if I'm being super honest with you. This is probably the most candid conversation I've ever had publicly. Do you get what I'm saying? This is a barbershop conversation normally. So it's one of those ones where it's like, I don't really feel the pressure, but I definitely sometimes get frustrated when I'm in the comment section, because I'm definitely a lurker, I'm a prier. I'm a prier. Everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I watch all of the clips, everything I see, but when people just put misinformation or because they're misguided, my biggest frustration is not being able to sometimes challenge those things. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's not
anything else you want to challenge while you're here? No.
No, you know what?
Ben.
Nah,
for you,
you know what? Not really, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the therapy chair. My guy G, do you know what I mean? He knows exactly what I'm thinking. Austin's not gonna say a word. Austin's not gonna say a word. You know what I'm saying? Not at all, man.
You know what people think with you guys is that you have the keys.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. When people think these man have got the keys, them man have, because you look at that. Like you say, like, obviously you say you're employed by someone, but they will say, like, you're one step away from the people that can make everything happen. And that's where people think that, right?
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Nah.
Let me just quickly make a point here. See, corporate companies are very strange here.
Yeah.
Because power isn't linear.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know.
So people feel that the person with let's say the lowest job title has the least amount of power, and the person with the biggest job title has got the most amount of power. It's a weird combinational mix. Do you get what I'm saying? Where you can be the CEO of a company, and actually the person in middle management who's a director has got more spending power than you. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So even though you might be getting paid the most, you actually, as the CEO or the president, might not necessarily have the day-to-day spending power. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, so when it comes to like having the keys, there are certain times and in certain situations, I do have the keys. And then there are certain times when I don't. But Twin, I'm gonna let you take over.
It's about marrying with like a shared ambition and purpose, isn't it? There's certain times someone can approach you and they've got something that they want to achieve. When you're in that space where you can achieve that together, cool.
Yeah.
When you're not, keep it stepping. But not even in like a certain type of like, it's like I said about people's perception of a space that, like Austin said, someone occupies. It's like when you're talking about Storms. See with Stormzy, I always say, listen, I've had, by God's grace, sold a lot of records and all of that stuff in terms of what I deem as my job. I've had all the success, that won awards doing what I'm doing. So I don't ever feel professionally insecure. But I also know that there's no one more important than Storms being successful than Storms. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes when people have a perception of what you do in and around an artist, like, I don't need the ego boost to be able to say, yeah, I did this and done that. I know what I did, but it doesn't mean that you're not, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I say this from your path in life isn't to be Stormzy. So if you expect the ingredients of the caste list around someone to open doors and do the exact same thing for you, life don't work like that. It's not a music thing. It's not, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, it's about understanding what you're here to do and kind of working to your strengths, not necessarily looking at, because sometimes that's what happens where people, they look at what someone does and says, because they do this, I can do that. Does that make any sense?
Of course.
And ultimately, it's like life don't work like that. It's not even a music.
Not all talents the same like that.
And also, like I always say, yeah, for me, see music and making records and being around artists and all that, I think half of our job is to protect that to a certain degree. It can't be just because you want to be in it, because there are so many other professions that I feel people don't have the same attitude towards.
Yes.
And I'm like, you won't like sport and expect to just go, oh, my man is Ronaldo's manager, I love football. You have a lot more respect for the craft or whatever that person did get in that space.
That's
do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because I'm great at like Premier League manager, I can go, no. There's so much to being in a space that you're asking to occupy. And for me, see, like we were saying about artists and like, that's why I always big up, even calling Colin, There are so many amazing, even like there's a lot of women in music.
Yeah,
who are
we've not even
amazing.
bigged up the. Do
Who
you know what I mean?
like-
Big up
who-
Sophia at
there's
Spotify.
loads, man, like-
big up TR Friday. Yeah, there's a bunch.
There's loads that I work with. You know, there's someone who came along with me from Atlantic to 0207, a girl called Jackie. And for me, like one of the reasons people are important in music is because they protect artists. It's not that they want to do the job or they actually are there to serve. Do you know what I'm saying? I think to do really well in the industry, at the core, you've almost got to be there to serve artists and serve art.
Yeah.
And even sometimes how people approach with a certain type of entitlement, I'm like, you're not going to be good at the job.
Facts.
What you're asking for, you don't have the right energy or attitude.
Artists or people
Or
that want to
approach.
do the job.
Yeah, because music in itself is valuable. Like, and on a deeper one, when people get married, when there's a funeral, someone's gonna have something to play that means something. Do you know, like if you're working in the music industry and you're around artists, you know that your job is to protect that craft, to protect the artist's like ability to do that, to be able to almost like stand in front of it, not just to. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes some of the conversations that exist,
I
are
get
like,
you.
I get it, but what are you asking for? Because ultimately, you know what I say when most people say they want something, I say do it. Even like the way the industry's shaped now, like the perception of gatekeepers isn't even what people think it is. Like
It's not.
the ability to do what you want to do, if you love
Yeah, it's true.
being around artists and all that, Austin Manny, Smiler, like there's like, if you're around it and you're around someone talented, help them.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what I mean?
nowadays, you've got so many ways to get your artist out there.
100%.
Well, you don't need to rely on
100%.
these mythical powers.
100%. And there are so many ways to get music out there. So many like you don't even need the resources that you needed to have back in the day. So sometimes it's like when people want to do something when they're after something. If I'm being honest, from a point of view of like,
Please.
I kind of see if they're doing it already.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? And again, there's so many worlds that like assume they can get help from what I do that I can't even help in the same way.
you know-
but like when people want to be around artists, and it's like, you just do it.
Yeah,
Like,
twins are the
you
things
know
that
what-
what you're asking me for.
No, but
right?
do you know why?
Like, sometimes I'm like,
Do you know why I agree?
Yes,
Do you know why I agree heavily as we start to wind things down? It's like what I said to Doug, and Doug will say it behind the scenes. Like, see, when you were first talking to us, I said to Doug, "There's no way I can do this. I can't sit at the table when we haven't done the work yet." You see what I'm saying, Shu? I said, we haven't done the work. We've only shot 3 episodes. Like, I don't want to be at that table where you're bringing everything and you see what I'm saying? Build. Maybe we'll have a conversation down the line. That's how it's supposed to be. Go out and do it for yourself. Put your own bread up. You see what I'm saying? I believe in that. And I think a lot of people need to do that and think in that kind of direction. But anyway, moving on from that, let me ask you a last question. Both of you, an artist or group that you passed up on that you wish you didn't.
Yeah, that's a
Everyone's got one of them.
that's a sick question, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, for me, the recent one would be Central C. You know, so and when I say passed up on, we didn't pass up on it. Yeah, it keeps me awake at night. So
That's a mad one. That's a bit of a mad one.
No, you know, we didn't pass up on it, so I'll explain.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say
see,
that.
any artist, that gets to a certain level of independent success, every label
And it's on
is
the radar
across
for
them.
everyone,
Exactly,
yeah.
it's a little bit like a footballer, right? Every club's on
bidding.
them. So, you know, every record label tries to build a relationship with the artist. So, you know, Atlantic Records, we built an amazing relationship with Big Up YBs and Central C himself. And it was like a 2-year getting to know, building relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you look at the first couple of mixtapes, we sort of watched him and YBs deliver those 2 mixtapes.
Yeah.
And we came really close to partnering with him. And then in the end, it wasn't to be. Do you get what I'm saying? But when I look at that situation, I'm like, it could have been, you know what I mean? We could have had an amazing relationship with him, business relationship with him.
Yeah.
So that's the one, the most recent one that I think of. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Every time he does something amazing. And big up Sench, man. Sench is one of the most thoughtful and intelligent artist that I've ever met. The first time I met him, the way that he was asking me questions and the intensity that he was listening, all to this day. In fact, I was just with him and YB's in Manchester just a few weeks ago, and he still has that same level of intensity to learn and to understand the game, man. And that's the reason why he's a global superstar. And he's broken all types of boundaries. Every record that there was before, in terms of a UK artist internationally, he's broken more or less all of them. Man. So big him up.
Okay, and you, twin.
Such a weird question to answer because like I don't want to say no one because it's weird. Obviously, like there's a point at which, like, in the spaces I've occupied, like I've worked, I had a independent label with Richard Antwi, worked with Wretch, Gyptian, Popcaan, like, and then worked at Atlantic for a while, worked in publishing, like at Sony, and then obviously started this label. Like, I don't look back and go, I'm wishy-washy, man, in that kind of like, I think what's supposed to happen happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're not really looking at
interacting.
what...
Nah, not in that.
No,
not in that.
I agree with you.
Not in that way. Like,
But who though?
That was the BBC training kicked in. BBC training kicked in. Crazy.
like this is. It's like I've worked with such sick people. And I don't say that from a kind of arrogant or like...
No,
like
that's
even
not your
obviously
persona. That's not your persona, bro.
interacting with Sench, it's like, whatever happens, you're going to be successful.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in the sense of, like you said, the guy don't smoke, he don't drink, he's focused, very intelligent, creatively excellent. A lot of things in this music game is about timing. Do you know what I mean?
And
like,
their
I
team,
feel like it's a lot
they
of things are
made it
divine,
work.
man. It's not
Yeah.
even like,
it's
you
true.
can't really look into things and have a
No,
perspective.
I hear that. And with
do you know
you,
what I
it
mean?
might not have gone the same way it was meant to go. I hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But who?
Bro, like...
There's one.
No,
Nah.
you know what? You know
Yeah,
what I get?
who-
You know what? You know what I get with Twin?
when you
You
look at
know
the
what I get
game-
with Twin?
Yeah, you're gone.
Purists in him.
No, Twins
Yeah,
are real
but-
purists. I know this, but I wanted to just
If-
tell
if-
me
okay,
someone
if-
that came
if-
through the door.
if-
Austin's grinning. He
No,
might
but
even
you know
know
why?
what. He might even know what.
How certain people perceive the music industry is funny, like in the sense of people look at like what coulda, woulda, shouldas in a certain way, yeah. When it just don't work out like that.
No, I hear you.
Do you know
That's
what
why I
I'm
say
saying?
it could
Nah,
have
you know what?
might have gone.
You know what?
It might have gone a
Twin was
different
all
way.
answer because his thing's like Adele or something. You know, like his thing.
No, you know what? No. That's the comments. He's in the comments.
Are you really gonna?
You know what it is?
I'm just guessing.
You know what
I'm
it
just
is?
guessing.
See, in this game, yeah, it's
Who
like...
would you say that I should?
Yeah, because Austin's got
From your perspective, I feel like
Austin, just say it.
there's someone you want to say that I should have done. Like,
Nah. You know what? Because I don't know the ins and outs.
yeah,
I don't
you
know the ins and outs.
understand the perception of my job. And
Yeah,
the
exactly.
reality.
Like okay,
more than others,
if I rewind all the way
Yeah,
back,
go on.
you know, you might have, and if you were in a position to sign, maybe Tiny at that point, maybe, but I don't know if you was in a position
yeah.
at that point to
But you know
sign
what's funny?
a partner.
You know what is funny? Obviously, at that time, wasn't far into working with Wretch. And I will say,
true.
his existence allowed the certain
Yeah.
thing to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So ultimately,
yeah, it's real.
like,
No, I agree.
again, like in, do you get what I mean? In terms of when you, like, obviously lucky enough to have gone, like, a certain amount of time and look back and go, that was what was supposed to happen.
I'm a
Do you know what I
great
mean? Like,
listen, to
do
be
you know
real,
what I mean?
I'm
So
a
it's
great
like-
believer in what Twin's saying of people, what's supposed to happen will happen. I'm a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
believer in that. So
Yeah.
I fully hear what you're saying.
What's for you?
But
For
who-
you?
I just wanted to.
Adele.
But,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
if
mean-
man said Adele.
No,
that would be a mad one.
no. That's funny. That's funny.
No,
you say
I
that.
just, bro. You know, I was just.
Ed.
Ah, okay,
Do you know
yes,
Ed?
of course,
Ed
Ed,
again
yes.
today. Like I'm blessed enough to be even on. Like that's my bro. Like, that's my bro. Like even today interacted. I'm a trustee on his charity.
Great work.
Do you know what I mean? And I can't lie. Again, with the space that he's got in, the stuff that guy does behind the scenes, people don't even realize. Like, there's people you know who are going places from a kind of like music education point of view, youth center point of view. That, and I can't lie. Same with Storms. Same with some of the people I've been around, and it's a character thing. It's not necessarily a kind of resource thing. And this going back to what we were saying about when you're speaking to artists in a certain situation. Like, luckily, like, there's certain people who you know, when you're in a certain spot, you're gonna do good or be good. Do you know what I
Your
mean?
patterns,
Yeah.
you're
Like,
good
it's
to
a
go.
character thing.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
just
yeah,
about talent.
yeah.
Like, you're a good person. If that makes sense.
100%
That's how you've got
makes
good
sense.
intentions. Like, Ed was around everyone at the beginning, and it's only in hindsight you just think, all right, he turned into the biggest artist in the world. Like, as in, he stayed on my
It's a
sofa.
great thing.
But Marv, like as in,
Yeah.
like that's my guy.
Yeah.
But again, he had a path. The people that were in his story, again, blessed enough to have a little, it's not as direct as signing and like, but that doesn't even matter. It's like, again, when it comes to music and what's going to be in people's lives from a purpose point of view, no one working with or not working with is going to stop that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, man.
It's going to happen, innit? Like,
know-
whether you play a role and get your percentage of whatever people deem how it works,
Yeah, but no, but
or not. Do you get what I mean?
just
Like, it
before
don't-
you say
it's not
something,
as simple.
what I get from that is that no matter what, it's all about the music.
Yeah.
It's not about a personal gain. It's not about like you could look at artists that have gone on to do major success and gone on to mad numbers and whatever, but it's not about that. It's literally about the music and being a part of the journey or touching in when you can. Or it's about, you get what I'm saying?
You
What
see
I'm
the
getting
people
from
that are
you-
at the top, like Dave, is so committed to being a great artist and making great music. People that like, and that's just at a kind of semi-distance. Like big up Jack and Benny and people that have protected that great artist into. Do you get what I mean? Like in the way that they play roles and Jussie and all of that lot. Yeah, but you see him, he's really good at what he does, and he's been getting better at it over time. Dave ain't Dave because he's Dave because he's a great artist. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone, sometimes even with the discussions that happen around music, yeah, and around the industry and the space where it's become, especially in black culture, it's swum into like conversation and economy. Sometimes I look at it, I think people have forgotten that artist makes great songs. And it you know, that's a full stop.
Yeah.
Manager, lawyer, the deal, the M's, this, that. It's like, even when I speak to artists, because you see what happens when this conversation swirls around, yeah? Even some, what would I say? Like some artists and their teams approach you in that sense of the science of a career. Do you know what I mean? Like the science of how it works to get there. And I'm not even saying that doesn't necessarily work, but when you're out and you're hearing a great song and it connects and loads of people like it, that's the job. That's the job has been done.
That's what it is.
The job is, you can't create like, and that's the other thing that comes with the job. People assume that like, because you're in a space, you can create like a certain type of success just out of nowhere. And that's the good thing about how the game has changed and the kind of lack of a certain type of gatekeeping. It's like, I promise you, if a song is successful, you know, people always say, even the artists I work with, like Storms has like, you know, people fiddled the like go to a show and see how many people connect.
exactly.
With, not even by a great part, two people that have cried on the first one, or how many people love lessons and like, or hide and seek they've had at their wedding, and you think, yo, those are really good songs. Like it's not a case of it's been manipulated. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
What you're saying basically is, I'm taking from this, which I know anyways, the artists that reach the real pinnacle are super talented, driven individuals that would be the same if they were sitting in this room just performing to their brethren or
Exactly.
100%.
They live for the craft.
And
That's
they
how you get to
usually,
the top.
and if I look at Ed and Sench and these people, if it wasn't music, they would have got to the top of the game in banking or in sports. Do you know what I mean? They've just got that thing about them, that winning mentality. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let them know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the type of like privilege you have by working behind the scenes, especially over a period of time. You can see there's certain ingredients that like, oh, okay, you're like,
exactly.
You've got it. It's gonna work. Like, but not it's gonna work because we're gonna press that button there or it's like, you got a gift. It's deeper with music, isn't it? Like,
very much so.
It's deeper. Like,
and those artists are living it, sleeping it, doing it. Yeah, I see it, man. I've seen it.
Like, I can't lie. Even like, if I'm phoning Wretch now, 8 out of 10 times he's in the studio.
Yeah.
And he said that here.
He said the same thing when he
said that.
He said that here, yeah. He's always in the studio.
People wonder why, like, he's really good at being like, do you know what I mean? Like, and again, if you can numbers all that, like, it's like, even the top end, like the amount of music that comes from Drake. Imagine, I know so many artists that guy has worked with, for instance, yeah, and the music hasn't come out to the point where I'm like, how much music does the guy actually make? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's mad. Like the top always have the ingredients of a commitment to craft.
Yeah,
like there's no, and the gift sometimes everybody's got it.
And they're constantly crafting.
Yeah, but for a long time, like there's a commitment to the craft of whatever they've identified they're here to do as an artist or like a writer. Or like,
yeah, this is excellent. This has been a great and insightful episode. You know, I've really enjoyed this one. I'm still talking to.
When we was in the car park, I said Austin would be about an hour.
Before you doubled that. What do you mean?
No, because he was like, "Oh, how long are we gonna?"
No, wait. I knew anyway. I knew how long.
I say that to say that this is how
this could never chop up in an hour.
This has been
not with these two. No way it could chop up in an hour. But listen,
this is sick.
I really appreciate you both pulling up, and I appreciate you both for what you do culture-wise as well.
Love, man, love.
And I'm looking forward to, like, the story's still going. You understand? So I'm looking forward to see where it goes, what direction you take it. before we bring it to right, is there anything you want to mention quickly before we close? Anything that I've not covered that you might want to just let the people know or whatever? You want to put your phone number out, let everyone just terrorize you.
Office address, pull
Email.
up, like Pound did.
Nah,
you know what, man? I would just say, just
Straight
to,
up.
I mean, just big up used to, do you know what I mean? Like I said, for what you're doing for the culture, you're documenting the culture in a authentic way. To see the growth has been amazing. We did a little toast off camera before we started, do you know what I mean? But I'll just repeat what I said, which is from when you lot came to me on episode 3, do you know what I mean? And you lot told me what your plans were, what you were looking to do, how you were looking to grow. To see what you've done from there has been nothing short of amazing, man. So big you man up.
Big yourself up, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, see, man, from 3
forward to
episodes,
seeing
man,
the
see the
growth, man.
vision.
Yeah, man.
That just shows you how good you are at your job. You know what I'm saying?
up,
Man, see the vision
love.
from early
Love,
doors,
love,
and we
love.
are here now. You know what I mean? We're still going 5 years on. You know, so appreciate you guys.
100. No, same.
Love, man, every
Like
time.
even
man.
like I said about commitment, like being able to do something on a regular basis and have a rhythm of it's cold. It's amazing.
Appreciate you.
And it matters, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like I can't lie, the last I did Chucky about 10 years ago. I said I hadn't done one, but I just wanted to say I did.
Yeah.
up Chucky.
I did
Big up
Chucky,
Chucky.
big up
That's
Chucky,
my
big
vibe
up
still.
Chucky and Benny and all of them.
Yeah.
And I big up
yeah.
everyone, man. Like it's all bricks. Just putting bricks in.
exactly.
Brick by
Yeah,
brick, we're building.
building
you know.
foundation, man.
Some man, some man are labourers, some man are contractors, some man are project managers. But we're building. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Definitely,
what it
man.
is. But yeah, now big up every time. Anyway, we're done. It's the Hustler, Big Dougie, Doug, Austin, and Twin. Stack.